Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see it. I mean, we see the Wolves coming out with some pretty effective changes themselves here. Illusion going on to that Sombra. Sombra again, one of the stronger characters in the game right now. Some people would say probably the strongest DPS on the roster. So much effectiveness with that hack, and that's gonna get a lot of value for them. Lucky switching over from the Sig to the Winston, which Winston recently has found a really strong place in the meta as well. Counters this Zarya very, very well just because of the discipline that he's able to have. Not able to really feed that bubble as much, and is able to really get out of her distance. And as you can see, the dive coming in early, trying to get into the back line here. Let's see if they're able to do anything with it. Lucky really putting out a ton of damage. Sunky putting down that immortality field. Man, Lucky is just able to escape so well. Such good mobility by that guy. Alakath putting Sunky down here. Let's see what they're able to do. WoW Classic on the Sim, which actually I love. Shout out the Sim pick. More people need to go after it. Lucky still trying to kind of push the button here. Looks like first point is going to go to Barracudas here on the first cap. Let's see if what Wolves are able to do. I mean, you mentioned it kind of coming into this round, Alex, right? These teams so far have showed that they're so evenly matched. This is going to be a really, really fun game to watch. Illusion is going to be a menace on this Sombra all game if the Wolves aren't able, or if the Barracudas aren't able to shut them out early. So let's see what they're able to do. Again, just kind of scouting the landscape, trying to figure out where the dive is going to be. They're picking the target right now for the Winston to dive in on, and there they go. That's the hack right there on the Baptiste, and that's an automatic pick every single time. However, Barracudas are doing a great job of recovering, and again, just playing patiently. Jair, I don't know. He's a Lucio god right now. 3K for the Barracudas to lock this point down. 61% and climbing for the Barracudas. Wolves might need to switch something up here or get onto an ult fast, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The Barracudas have been weathering the storm that the Wolves have been putting them through, even with these fantastic picks, these fantastic Sombra placements. Remember, before Sombra gets nerfed, her hack allows 40% more damage onto her target, and we are going to see Naiwu drop that ultimate, but actually ends up getting taken out instead. The ultimates are being traded, and we do see a massive EMP on the side on the Barracudas, picking up 3 of those members. Sunky just able to clean up the rest, and finally the Wolves are able to get control of the point, but not before the Barracudas have secured 93% of their own. Practically at this point, the Barracudas just need to win one fight and they take this map, but the Wolves, they are in prime position to hold on tightly to this control point.
Yeah, Illusion, like you mentioned there, Alex, found just such a great EMP there, able to really open that up. Wolves did have to drop a lot of ults for it, but they're looking good here. Illusion's able to put C-Squared down, and man, C-Squared is having a tough time on that Baptiste, just getting so targeted by Barracudas right now. We do see the wall go out, and look, Alakath on Widow. You mentioned it, Alex. This is what you wanted to see coming into it, and they are really providing. They're giving us a show right now. WoW Classic able to clean up on point. Barracudas locking it down. They will likely be our victors rolling into round 3 here, Alex. Again, these kids are just showing out right now. Such a high level of talent on display, and I'm just excited to see this series play out because as we've seen so far, it's really looking like an even matchup of skill.
Yeah, it has been an incredible showcase of the talent that we've seen here. I mean, WoW Classic on a DPS that we don't really get to see a lot. You mentioned it before, you're a big fan of the Symmetra pick. I'm a big fan of the Symmetra pick as well. Absolutely a fantastic job. WoW Classic handling those close-up engagements while Alakath can take a step back, switch off to the Widowmaker, and get picks from afar. The aggression is just oppressive, and the Wolves didn't have anywhere to go at that point. They couldn't go in, they couldn't go out, and they were just kind of pincered in by the strategy of the Barracudas. But it is not over yet for the Wolves. We are now down to map number 3 on Busan, and whew, this is a doozy. This has been such an incredible series so far, and this is a best of 3. This is just game 1. Control is so exciting. I love that we're starting out on Control here, as we do see Illusion pick up 1.
Illusion on the Junkrat, love that pick as well. This is something that you kind of mentioned coming into this. We were talking about the 5v5 format of Overwatch 2, and it's probably super played out to talk about at this point. However, what I will say is that it really allows for diversity in DPS, and that's what we're seeing, especially at the level that these kids are playing at. You get value off so many different characters, as we see Barracudas get the first cap, pick it up here on Mecha Base, the deciding round for this map on Busan. We see Lucky coming out, and really just showing some diversity of characters here. Lucky really been all over over the place. We've seen Zarya, we've seen Sigma, we've seen Winston, now we see Reinhardt, and this is going to be a really interesting pick. We do see that they've got Window here. Wolves put it out early, and Barracudas are able to do well to peel, try and get away from me here. Not out of the clear just yet. However, we do see Neo drop a big grab, gets a lot of the team, but Illusion's able to find Alakath again with the Junkrat. So much ability to just shoot through the choke, put damage out there and see what happens. And that's what happens, folks. You get a big double kill. Wolves are sending this thing straight open. Illusion doing such a great job of just being a menace, just continuously putting out damage all over the place, shooting those grenades, making sure they're active, and doing a really good job of making sure that they hit as well. Point flips over to Wolves here, who do now have 2 ultimates in their back pocket. We are seeing Barracudas getting close as well. However, one of those is a sim wall. You see how if they're able to get a ton of value with that, especially with the tire here that Illusion is holding on to, that's going to be very, very scary. I would venture to guess that JR is holding his beat for that tire, but tire has got a solid 10 seconds that it's just going to be out there, which is an eternity in this game. However, Alakath picks Illusion early. We're going to see Lucky playing around here in the choke. Big shatter, finds 3 or 4 of them, I don't even know, but they're all going down. Wolves doing such a great job of holding this choke here. Barracuda's not in a bad spot here, though. Holding on to 3 ults. Wolves themselves, though, coming up on 4, Alex. This is going to really come down to the wire here, man. My goodness.
Absolutely, it is, as you said, just so neck and neck. The Wolves have just passed the Barracudas on percentage, but we're just at 50%. There's still so much time left in this game to act, as we see Illusion getting another kill. The switch to this Junkrat seems to be very much helping out the Wolves, that Symmetra has not had the ability, or even the Cassidy had the ability to really turn up as they have in the past games. Illusion just dealing so much damage with this Junkrat, and of course Sunky on the Reaper putting out so much damage as well. And with that lost fight, the Barracudas are just going to have to walk away. They're going to have to regroup. They did use the Symmetra wall, so that is down, and they will not have it for the next fight, as we are getting closer and closer to that final point. The Wolves very much in control. We are going to see Window go down. This choke point is just so impossible for the Barracudas to get through. The Wolves are holding it so well, and we're going to see the Riptire come out. It's going to find 1, unfortunately. Cassie's going to find 1 as well. That's a support on each side here. We are going to see the grab come out as well. WoW Classic going to pick up Sunky, and now an opportunity for the Barracudas to push forward. Alakath making something happen on that Cassidy as well. And Kyler, when we see Alakath here, the range is incredible. This player knows how to hit heads and click. Kyler, it's just incredible what we're seeing from both teams right now.
You were not kidding. Alakath did pull out the Widow for a little bit, so they showed us that they know exactly what they are capable of, and they're doing a great job here. However, they get pushed hard by Sunky and not lost. That was a really great way to just rush the Cassidy there, make something happy. Sunken now, just getting onto point with the big Blossom. That is going to be enough for the Wolves to take this first map. Busan goes to the Wolves. Alex, that's a hot start to this series, man. What do you guys pull me into, man? I missed this.
Yes, indeed. What a fantastic start for both the Wolves and the Barracudas. I mean, that entire series could have gone, that entire game, wow, it was so long it felt like a series, but it was just game 1. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was so back and forth. The Wolves and the Barracudas so neck and neck, and you can tell that they want the title for this esports rumble this week rather. They're fighting so hard, tooth and nail. Remember, whoever loses this match still has 1 more opportunity to qualify for the grand finals, but whoever wins, they're sitting pretty. They immediately get their ticket into that grand final. So both of these teams want to have that guaranteed win. They want to have that guaranteed seat in the grand finals, which we will be seeing later tonight. And if it's anything like we've seen so far, I cannot wait for that.
It's looked great so far, man. I mean, like you said, it was up in the air the entire time, back and forth, even up until the very last moment there. The Wolves were able to, again, stay really patient, allow Barracudas to push on point, flip it to the Barracudas there without ever even getting too many picks. However, they didn't get super out of place. The Wolves stayed true, stayed strong, recouped, and then they were able to get back onto point right away. Again, just the coordination and the discipline that's been on display so far has been awesome, so exciting to watch. I haven't seen organized Overwatch in just like forever now. I like watch streams from the sidelines, and then I am able to get in here and like talk about this now. It's crazy. All right, my Bronze 1 games don't go anything like this. All right, so it's been a joy to see how these kids are able to adapt and play the game in. I'm really looking forward here as we go into the next map. It's going to be, again, just a great back and forth, very competitive matchup from these guys.
Yeah, while we're talking about the next map, of course, we have Hybrid up next, and it is going to be King's Row, the classic map, a loved Overwatch 1 map, taken and brought over into Overwatch 2. Of course, Busan was the same way, but I feel like when we talk about Overwatch 1, that competitive scene, King's Row always comes to mind. Kyler, what are you feeling about this King's Row pick? What do you think that we're going to see? How do you think these teams are going to adapt onto this map here?
I love that question, Alex. I mean, I think that's what's so beautiful about King's Row, and I think that's why it's so beloved by Overwatch players everywhere, is that there isn't necessarily like a one size fits all type of deal. Rather, that's kind of how King's Row is. You can play it almost any sort of way. There's elevation on first point. There's a pretty hard choke to get through. However, there's still a workaround for flankers to go through. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Sombra from the attacking team. I imagine with the way that these kids have been playing, that we'll see a Widow come out and try to see if they can maybe get a pick off of the bell tower there. And then again, as you start to push down after you capture cart and push it through the alleyway there, it's so tight, right? The corridors are so tight. You can get value out of, we saw Illusion on the Junkrat, likely see Sunky on the Reaper. He was playing super well there. We saw Zarya, again, another viable character. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw somebody like Diva even break through just to be able to get through the choke, take advantage of that elevation. We might see another Winston. I can't wrap my head around it, man. We can see anything here. And that's what is so fun about King's Row, right? Is that you just have so much diversity of choice. You're really able to get a lot of value out of almost any character. And I think I think these kids will put that on display here. We might even see a Sim TP behind or on top of the statue. All right. That's like some real throwback stuff right there. You guys might not remember if you haven't seen it before. So going into this map, I think it's going to be really fun to watch. Again, I expect fireworks. I expect competitive fire out of both of these teams. I wouldn't be surprised if this really came down to something that got to the foundry at the end of the map, and I think that's probably likely where we'll see some sort of deciding play. So I'm looking forward to getting into it, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, right, you've said it all. The anticipation is killing me. These teams could go either way. So without further ado, let's get into game number 2. We, of course, have the Wolves versus the Barracudas. And wow, what a drag down knockout fight this has been so far. Game 1 was so back and forth on Busan. And now going to the classic King's Row, this is... Whew, I am so excited for this. As Kyler was talking about, really could see anything for these team compositions. On the side of the Barracudas, it looks like Naiwu is just going to be staying on that character they feel comfortable with, and that, of course, is that Zarya. Of course, as we've said, one of the best, if not the best tank in the game right now. Alakath hovering over that Widowmaker, trying to make an early play. And then on the side of the Wolves, Lucky, the very versatile tank, going with the Reinhardt. But an interesting hold from the Wolves. They didn't hold the choke point. They've walked back. They've allowed the Barracudas the space that they need to get into this fight, and already onto the point. Kyler, what is happening here? Oh my goodness.
By the Wolves was fantastic. I don't know if you noticed, but they allowed Barracudas the space to push through to use the other side of that statue. But what they did is they retreated into that room there, into the hotel, and they had so much space where they were able to split the team. We saw Niwo try to rotate onto point there, not even really too much at fault there, but just had enough space behind them where the Wolves were able to take advantage and get some picks from behind. But we do see Barracudas again reasserting themselves, coming back onto point, peeling really well. To be fair, we see 2 picks and they get off, although Lucky getting back in, trying to make something happen. You got to respect it. Niwo putting them down. It's looking like this point is now going to go to Barracudas. Strong showing by the Wolves there. We're able, again, to make them work for it at the very least, make them run around. We see Lucky now switching off of the Rhine, going on to Zarya to mirror. pretty standard right now. Usually what you have to do, again, Zarya just so strong, puts out so much damage, has so much efficacy with the bubbles. You really just get it all from her right now. So I think the pick from Lucky is going to be great. However, we do see Alakath, one of the standout performers so far, doing a great job. Typically on this hit scan DPS, is able to go ahead and pick up the Sojourn, find a pick late there onto Lucky. Wolves just trying to regroup, regather themselves, and get back on defense here. Let's see what they do. Barracuda is looking really, really strong so far, though, Alex.
Yeah, the Barracuda is looking so strong. Of course, they were snuffed out a little bit for their first push, but by the second push, they understood the strategy. They understood what the Wolves were going for, and they were just able to adapt. We are going to see Naiwu with just a single grab. We are seeing the Lucio hop in there. Really not much happening there. It's a Zarya ultimate for a Lucio ultimate. Both teams just trying to conserve what they have. Naiwu at 80%. Alakath gonna find the Lucio, and Naiwu with the flank as well, trying to find that Sojourn, who eventually gonna find it. But in the back, Lucky and Not Lost picking up 2 members of Barracudas. This fight is so fragmented. There's so much back and forth and so much separation that teams have created for themselves. It's just you flank me, I flank you, and it becomes just a very chaotic situation here. And Kyler, we're coming up on this second checkpoint here. Barracudas, 3 ultimates. What can they do with them?
Chaos is the best way to put it, man. That was nuts. Niwu playing super aggressively, really pushing the button here, and I'm almost taking on Wolves by themselves, just able to get forward, make something happen, and that was after that grab didn't get a ton of value. We saw their Anarchy was able to beat and encounter that really, really well. WoW Classic finding the pick onto Anarchy early here on the Honest. That's going to be big. It's going to really allow Barracudas to keep playing aggressively. We see 3 ults here on their side. Cole comes out here for Wolves with the grab as well. It's going to be able to get some effectiveness here. We see Not Lost put down WoW Classic, but really great job by Barracuda supports. We see the Immortality field go down to help the team stay alive here. And we're seeing Lucky getting forward. Niwu able to put Sunky down though. Sunky tried to make that play with the Dragons on Niwu earlier. Maybe some bad blood there. Who knows? I think I'm just making up storylines in my head. Lucky still finding picks with the Zarya onto Alakath. Wolves doing everything they can to get this stop here. It seems like they might be able to get it. We see Triplet escape from Barracudas on the Kiriko again. The Shadow Step is going to be huge for them, allowing them to just get through walls here. And we see Not Lost getting pretty aggressive with the Moira, which has been standard for Moira players so far in Overwatch 2. This 5v5 really allows them to stretch their wings and do their thing here. We're seeing a big push here from Wolves. The Kitsune Rush goes out, and we see Illusion finding one, trying to just go back and forth. Sojourn ults trading, headshots being had. Let's see what happens. WoW Classic puts Illusion down. That's going to be big, and it's going to allow Alakath to play with a little bit more reckless abandon here, as they won't have to worry too much about getting sniped by the enemy Sojourn. We see them go up to 100 pretty quick. Ults all over the place. These fights have been so back and forth as of so far, folks. We do see ults online for Barracudas and none for the Wolves right now. That may make all the difference going into this next fight. 3 minutes 20 seconds still on the clock. A lot of time for this to be decided here for the Barracudas.
Yeah, especially when we have WoW Classic, who is just kind of hunting in the background, just sneaking around with the Genji. Does have that blade online, and especially with Naiwu, who has the grab, that could really turn this fight into any direction here. The Wolves are able to gain enough so that they do have the ultimate, and wow, Not Lost going to pop that instantaneously, and 2 picks on the side of the Wolves, but Barracuda's coming back. Sunky unfortunately going to fall and lose their life. Anarchy surviving WoW Classic somehow, and that's something that I feel like we haven't talked enough about, are the support players on either side who have been playing incredibly. Of course, you talked about it earlier, C-Squared with that immaculate lamp placement to save their team from that grab. Anarchy just finding more and more picks on the side of the Wolves. Not Lost been playing very, very aggressive. The supports are really the unsung heroes a lot of the time, and I feel like we just gotta give them a little bit of praise, especially while we're going into such tense situations there. The Barracuda is now down to 2 minutes left. Lucky does have an ultimate as well as Sunky, and you know that Dragon's grab combo is so, so deadly. Kyler, we are getting into the thick of it, and Alakath has switched over to the Widowmaker.
Yeah, I love the way that Alakath plays. Super aggressively, believes in their characters, and yeah, I mean you said it. Support play has been great here. I've been really impressed with Anarchy as we see the Nano go out onto Zarya. That is never a bad idea with how strong she is right now. That beam just tearing, melting everything in front. We're seeing Alakath again try to find some sight lines here. Probably trying to counter Sunky on the Hanzo a little bit, just make them think twice about going into those sight lines. We do see Barracuda's 2 ults online. Illusion getting close to Soldier's ultimate here, so it's going to be an interesting wrinkle going into this next fight here. It's gonna be really big to see. I mean, as we go, there it is. Alakath finding one again, just making the Wolves rather think about going into these sight lines and again using the elevation here on this map in Foundry. This is what I was talking about here, where we're gonna have to look out. Anarchy doing well at just maintaining their sight lines, trying to stay out of focus and keep their team alive, doing a really great job here. But Alakath making life really rough for the Wolves now, and is gonna be able to play for free on top of this. Oh, but we do see shots come out. Lucky again, this Zarya is able to just do it all right now. Let's see if Wolves are able to contest this. It's going to be tough for them. Barracuda's finding picks all over the place as well as having their ults. We may see a window go out at the start of this next fight. Newo finding Illusion. Anarchy, though, finding Newo, and that's going to be big here, especially with the spawn advantage favoring the Wolves so strongly. We see them rushing back to point. Not lost, finding WoW Classic. You called out these supports, and they are really making the difference here in this last fight, Alex. This is going to be great to see. We do see Barracuda's taking some space back. Oh my goodness. Alakath finding Illusion, who tries to mirror to stop the Widow. Typically, the only way to stop a Widow is with another Widow, and that is not working for the Wolves right now. Alakath getting a ton of value, and we see the grab go out early. Alakath finding another one, finding Moira on the not lost on the Moira. Let's see how they're able to push forward here. Newo trying to find some space. Illusion back and finds WoW Classic. Alakath finds Illusion again, making life so difficult if you're an enemy's DPS on the other team. What do you do against this guy? Newo finding 2. Barracuda's trying to do everything they can to close it out here, and they are triplet getting the double, and that is going to be an overtime push victory for the Barracudas. Alex, what a first round, man. My goodness.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible first round, especially with Alakath on that Widowmaker. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I called it earlier. I know that we've seen some excellent Widowmaker play in the past, and Alakath has come to deliver. Even when the Barracudas feel down and out, Alakath is there, switching over to the Widowmaker to make those impactful plays, to make something happen here. And we were talking about it before, the support line stepping up as well. Triplet on that Kiriko, just getting so many kills. That the headshot damage from Kiriko's Shuriken does so much damage, and while it's a support, it really is kind of like a respect thing. You gotta, if you get hit with a headshot from Kiriko, you gotta take a second, because that does so much damage. It can really surprise you, catch you off guard as well. And if you're against a very talented Kiriko player, as we've seen from Triplet here, they can deal so much damage and get so many picks of their own. So now it is up to the Wolves to attack and the Barracudas to defend. Although they did end in overtime, the Barracudas are now forcing the Wolves to complete the map if they want to have a chance of winning here. But on the side of the Wolves, if they're able to complete the map, they probably will do it with more time than the Barracudas have in their time bank. But here we go, Kyler, starting up the attack. The Wolves running in. Sunky back on that Reaper, which we've seen them be so strong on.
Yeah, this is a really great pick, and there we see it already. Triplet able to find. Oh man, these performers are just unbelievable. Alakath finding one, Triplet finding one, and you really said I wanted to highlight what you were talking about with Kiriko. You're so right. You're spot on, right? You have to really think about the way that you approach her, especially when there's somebody like Triplet or even Not Lost or Anarchy playing, right? Because you can't just run in a straight line and just expect to dive on top of them or anything like that. She will absolutely punish you. You mentioned her increased headshot damage, 125 headshot damage for her kunai when she hits you with it. So it's really got to be something that you think about tactically and approach. Triplet, again, able to just put so much pressure on those sight lines and just make anybody think twice about it. As we can see, Barracuda is doing a really good job of just holding this first point. Again, they have a lot of space here with the comp that they're running. Newo's able to be pretty independent and play by themselves. They've got Sojourn and Widowmaker as well. And then the Baptiste and the Kiriko are both support characters that are no slouches and can take care of themselves. So this is going to be a tough one for Wolves. They're not really going to be able to single anybody anybody out in particular without a bit of movement involved with it. But we do see them run through Hotel there, and they are going through, trying to jump right on the Baptiste. C-Squared able to get out, jump right on top of that porch. Great idea here. Now they are, oh my goodness, WoW Classic turning right on Sunky and getting some effectiveness. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what you see so well. When I talk about discipline and when I talk about what these kids are able to do so quickly, the way that they're rotating or whether they're reacting to these rotations is great. Wolves did the right thing right there. They went right onto C-Squared, sped onto them, tried to make the play happen. But Barracudas, again, the mobility that they have on this team, they're able to just bounce out so quickly. We do see Lucky switch it up again, go to the Winston. I think that's going to be a good pick here. They're going to try to get a lot of effectiveness again out of this dive comp sort of thing. And we see Lucky with a big bubble there to save his team from the grab. However, Alakath, an absolute menace, finding the support line of the Wolves, getting so much value here. Newo, meanwhile, as Lucky tries to get into the back line and make something happen, Newo is making them pay, fighting the DPS line as well. Lucky's going to try and get out here and is going to do so, but my goodness, Barracudas are doing such a good job of reacting to everything that the Wolves are able to throw at them right now. Let's see what they can do to kind of continue here. Again, C-Squared just feeling it out. You talked a lot about this support line from both teams here, Alex, and I'm just so glad you called them out because they've really been the backbone of these teams, keeping them up. As we see the Blade come out, and you can see how hard they're going after C-Squared and Widowmaker, and they do it. Alakath going down here. Let's see if Barracudas are able to respond. They find Illusion, but it's likely not going to be enough. Wolves with a strong push onto the point. No funny business. They get cart, and they are going to extend their life here on Kings Row, Alex.
Yeah, but it got very, very close for the Wolves. Just under 40 seconds left on their time clock. The Barracudas had done such a great job of holding them here, wasting their time. They do have 3 minutes on the clock, but again, we see this first choke point ends up being very difficult for teams to break, and also this second choke point here, especially right in front of this bookstore. It gets so difficult, especially when you have these aggressive players like Naiwu, who is just up in your face with the Zarya dealing so much damage and just absorbing so much from the Reaper. Speaking of Reaper, Sunky does have ultimate, but it doesn't matter because Alakath is going to take him down instantaneously. Triplet going to find another kill as well, and with that, the Barracudas just asserting their dominance right now, not even letting this cart get past this first checkpoint on the arches here, pushing them so far back. The Wolves are almost falling back to their first spawn. The Barracudas, oh my gosh, and here we go. An ultimate out from Sunky is just about going to get snuffed out. But WoW Classic is going to fall. Anarchy going to drop the Coalescence as well. And now Wolves have the advantage. They are pushing forward. They are punishing the Barracudas for their forward-facing positioning. But the Wolves, they still have ults. Not quite as many as the Barracudas, but they do have Beat. They do have Primal. So they do have the ability to make something happen, even though the Barracudas have 3 ultimates to their name. We'll just have to see, Kyler. But we are going to see Alakath take themselves out, unfortunately. What happened there?
Oh, man. I wonder what happened there. That's so unfortunate. Triplet finding Illusion early. Yeah, I got to say that when Wolves really put the speed on and just make something happen, they are so dangerous. They're really putting the pressure on here, making life really tough for C-Squared in particular, who they have made their personal mission to not enjoy the game. Lucky getting a ton of value, jumping around here like a maniac. Barracuda's doing well, though, to really stay strong. However, we do see Newo go down there. That's going to be a really big pick by Sunky, who, again, is just going crazy on this Reaper. Illusion finds C-Squared. Alakath finds Lucky. Wolves should have enough here to get cart to point if they're able to hold on. WoW Classic do everything that they can, as well as Alakath, to keep the pressure on, but Wolves are going to go ahead, and find the point there, able to push cart. They now have 2 minutes, and with the way that they've been winning these fights here, didn't get a whole lot of, weren't contested super strongly as they were pushing up to Foundry through alleyway here. They may have an opportunity to win this right now. We'll see it here. Although Triplet, I mean, what more can be said on the Kiriko? Triple there to buy the Barracudas some time at the end of that fight. I don't even know how that came about. My goodness, Triplet doing such a good job. Again, when there is a Kiriko on the enemy team, you cannot just idle in sightlines. She will put out way too much damage, and Triplet has mastered, or at least gotten so close, or so good at finding where the enemy team is going to be. However, Illusion getting through early, putting damage out, and putting Triplet down. That's going to be really, really rough to miss the support. Illusion finding the other support as well. Moira, C-squared down. Sunky pushing forward here with the Wolves. They are going crazy just pushing. Anarchy finding Niwo. They have a ton of space here, and this is really going to come down to it now. Sunky is sitting very, very close to a Blossom. Illusion finding 2 with the Dragon. Wolves are pushing hard right now, finding so much value. Anarchy and Sunky on cart, trying to get it to push as fast as possible. Lucky right up at spawn, bullying Barracudas, and again, Sunky very, very close to this Blossom. He's going to have it after he connects one more time. I don't know if Barracudas have enough here, although we do see WoW Classic coming out, trying to make a play. It's not going to be enough. Anarchy with the Cole, able to keep their team in this. We see the Kitsune Rush come out from Triplet on Barracudas, and there is the Blossom. It is going to be a triple. Niwo, the only one left on point. Let's see if they're able to do anything. Doing well and keeping themselves up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Not Lost finds it with the boot, and there is the Shatter, and Bear and the Wolves are going to do it. Best result right now for Barracudas. Or rather, they won't have as much time in their bank to push as the Wolves here. Wolves just such a great job keeping their distance, again pushing so hard there at the end. Lucky on the tank line, just doing so well to lead by example, switching and flexing really to whatever they need. We've seen the Zarya, we've seen the Winston, we've seen the Rhine. They've been all over the place. These teams are matched up so well right now, so we will see Barracudas come out first on attack. It's going to be interesting to see what they'll be able to do if they switch anything up. I mean, it's not like anything has been failing too badly for them. We've seen a lot of flexibility from Alakath, particularly on those hit scan DPS. We've seen Cassidy, we've seen Soldier, we've seen the Widow for sure, and that's what they line up on first, probably to try and take advantage of this clock tower look. Rather, we'll see what they do. If they're juking me out, they go back to the Sojourn, which is likely going to be the better pick here since they don't have that much time to try and get this first point here, Alex. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. I mean, we got Niwo posturing on the Diva. That'll be a first one that we see as well in this series. So it'll be good to see. I mean, this is going to be a tough one coming down to the wire. Really.
Yeah.
Tick, or rather, if Barracudas are able to get it out early here. I like Not Lost on the Zen. That's going to enable a ton of damage. However, very diveable. Very scary to see when you've got WoW Classic on the Genji, somebody who's been overachieving, super strong here and just really playing well. But there we go. Niwo puts pressure on Illusion and gets that Genji out early. This is going to be tough to bounce back from. Niwo, whoa, going crazy here. Finds Sunky as well. The DPS are out for the Wolves early. Not Lost is really going to have to try and stay on top of it. Carry hard, but it's going to be tough because that Diva is going to be on them in a jiffy. Lucky finding Triplet, though. That's going to be big for them. See Not Lost get hurt pretty early. It's going to be tough. WoW Classic, again, just wrapping around, trying to get some damage out. Barracuda's not able to put too much pressure on after finding 2 early picks. This is going to be interesting to see. Illusion gets Niwo out of mech. Niwo was doing big damage for them. However, before they go down, is able to find the Zen. Let's see what happens here as we start to kind of see these guys feel each other out a little bit more. Again, C-Squared finds Illusion. Illusion's gone down a couple times early here. That gives Barracudas a lot of space. 3 seconds left, though. Barracuda's got to do something to try and make this happen. They get the touch to extend it into overtime. Anarchy finds WoW Classic. Niwo is back, though. Finds Sunky. However, Lucky putting Triplet down early as well. This is going to be a tough one to win for the Barracudas at this point. Discord Orb on Niwo is going to make life really rough. They get Niwo out of mech. That is going to do it right there. I don't think the Barracudas are going to be able to get a tick here. Wolves, strong defense in the blink of an eye. Alex, my goodness. When all seemed lost for them, they were able to pull it back and keep it here. And now all they need is 1 tick in 1 minute and 36 seconds. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I was going to say before we got into this is the thing going for the Barracudas is that first push, they were able to do it very, very quickly. And on the side of the Wolves, it took them almost the entire time before they were able to get that point. Remember, we were talking about it. They had 40 seconds left by the time they were able to capture the payload on their first attack. But for the side of the Barracudas, they their first attack didn't work, and then their second attack, they were instantly able to get the point, so they had a lot more time. I thought the Barracudas were going to be able to get one tick on the point, but a fantastic hold from the Wolves. A great job from the side of Not Lost. As you said, a very pickable playing on that Zenyatta, but was just able to hide away into those little crevices, making it very, very difficult for the rest of the Barracudas to spot them out or even dive them and take them down. Also hiding behind Lucky, who was on that Sigma, making use of that high ground and then making use of the space that Sigma commands when he was on the point. So a fantastic job from the Wolves, a great defense, and now it's up to them to get that one tick, as you were saying. And remember, whoever wins here is guaranteed a spot for the grand finals, and then the loser will have to play the Eagles. So this is so important for the Wolves to take this, as well as the Barracudas to not let the Wolves take it. And Alakath going to start things strong on that Soldier 76, taking out Lucky, and Triplet taking down Illusion. Triplet cannot be stopped when they are on this Kiriko. I mean, it's just incredible how much damage they do.
I like Black's Triplet is really just all over the place right now, just an absolute menace on this Kiriko. I like what Sunky's trying to do, and there he goes. He gets one on Alakath, and now that's going to be big. That was a big pick right there, because now the Barracudas have an opportunity, or rather, the Wolves have an opportunity here to take advantage of the one-man down. Let's see what they're able to do. Triplet, though, just absolutely just putting damage out like it's nobody's business on Kiriko. You have to be careful when you are looking at this guy, even when you're not, because there will be damage coming at you. Let's see what Lucky's able to do, getting really hurt here. Again, that Zarya just melts through that defense matrix. Sunky finding Alakath here. The Wolves trying to make some space to make something happen, and it looks like they are doing so. However, Neo puts down Sunky. That's going to be tough. Neo very low here. They're going to have a Baby D.Va standoff, and it's not going to be enough. Neo finds Lucky. Triplet finds Illusion. Barracuda's doing a great job of just trying to stay on right now. We see WoW Classic on the Cassidy. Let's see what they're able to do. Barracudas and Wolves going back and forth right now. Wolves, massive spawn advantage, and we see here Sunky trying to make something happen on point, but Alakath puts them down early. Let's see how they respond. We're trying to see what Alakath can do, and I mean, just damage all over the shop. He's got the visor, and the visor goes down, as well as, oh my goodness, through a window. That's going to be a big double defense matrix out for Lucky. It's not going to be enough. He's going to go down here as well. C squared, finding Lucky. An Illusion's going to be the only one left here for the Genji. Sunky's going to get back on the Reaper as well. Let's see if they're able to find any space. No Wraith here. That's going to be really rough. He's just going to get absolutely melted. Wolves and Barracuda tie on the hybrid.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could we have expected?
What more can we expect out of an incredible matchup here? The Wolves versus the Barracudas, literally going the distance in King's Row. The tie, the draw, unexpected. So now the decider will be our next match. I mean, wow, I don't think we could have asked for a better matchup. Kyler, as we're thinking about, I'll give you a second to kind of contemplate that matchup and give me an analysis in a... Yeah, take a breath, exactly. So while Kyler is taking a breath, while we're all just taking a breath after that madness, I just want to say a couple of things. Of course, if you're enjoying this, if you are enjoying what you're seeing, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to follow Esports Tower on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Make sure to go follow them on all their socials. That, of course, is at Esports Tower. They have such great content, even more like this. They have more Rumbles, not just in Overwatch, so you're not going to want to miss out on all of their fantastic content. And then, of course, if you like what we do here, if you want to see more of me, more of Kyler, make sure to follow SU, of course, at Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. That is going to be at SU Esports, and then everywhere, sorry, that's at Shenyu Esports, and then everywhere else, the YouTube, Twitch, that is at Shenandoah Esports. So, of course, you're going to want to make sure you follow us there. Follow Esports Tower. Make sure you're up to date with all of those socials, because, wow, you're going to see more action, more incredible games like this if you're able to follow all of those socials. So, Kyler, hopefully you have had a little bit of time to kind of contemplate that game. What are the takeaways that we take away from the King's Row? It ended in a draw. As we're looking for this next map, what are some of the takeaways that we're going to be looking at here?
It's hard to pin down any one standout performer because I think every player so far has had just incredible moments as of right now. I think the one that sticks out to me the most, maybe this is just recency bias, but I just feel like Triplet on Kiriko has found so much value for their team. I mean, just able to really keep their team up, find so much value with the healing bell, and keep their team cleansed, and then the damage just can't be understated. I mean, just finding picks wherever necessary. Somebody that's been a big standout performer to me on the side of the Wolves has been Lucky. Just the flexibility at the tank line, I just think is immeasurable, right? And they've done everything. They bounced around from Sigma to Zarya to Winston to Reinhardt, and that is a tough thing to do, and it's an even tougher thing as an enemy team to try and adjust yourself to when you know that somebody on the other team can find so much value. I could talk for days about all these players. Alakath on the side of the Barracudas, again, just getting so much value out of the hit scan DPS role. We've seen them primarily on Widowmaker. We've seen them flex around to the soldier. They got a big double in conjunction with C squared with the window at the end. So it's just there's value coming from every position so far. It's really amazing to watch, and I think, like I said, the thing that has stood out to me, or rather the differentiator between these two teams, is truly who reacts first, or rather who takes the first action. We've seen Wolves so far, when they press the button, when they just put speed on and just really go to just hit Barracudas in the mouth, that's where they get the most value. King's Row is a tough map to do that on, and you can see why, especially on that first point, right? There's so many different ways to peel, to run away, to really make the other team kind of play into your style. And I thought both teams did a great job, and that's why they ended up as a tie. So as we go into this next push map, which will not result in a tie, I think, again, it's really just going to be the team that stays on the front foot will be the one that wins here, and that's a lot easier said than done, especially when each team has been rotating as well as they have, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up. The next map that will be the decider is going to be Push, and it, of course, is the classic for Push maps. Now, I feel like maybe it's a little bit too new for me to be calling it a classic, but Colosio, the map that we keep seeing over and over again, basically the staple of this new game mode Push. Fantastic. It has it's very flat in the beginning and then has a little bit of higher ground near the end of the push. We have seen this in several of the esport tower rumbles in the past, so a map that some of these returning players are familiar with. But without further ado, let us get into Colosio Push. Barracudas versus the Wolves. Winner of this goes to grand final. Loser of this match has one more shot to make it to the grand finals. They have to take on the Eagles after this, but for now, let us just soak in how closely matched these two teams are. They've gone the distance in this best of 3 set. They went the distance on King's Row, and now they are putting their all into Colosio, the first push map of the night.
Yeah, let's see how they go. As we can see, both teams, again, just feeling each other out well here in the first fight. Colosio especially. In this lane, both teams are going to have a ton of room to kind of just back off whenever they need to. We do see Alakath taking some damage here early, however, doing a good job just staying around. And there we go. That's what I was talking about. Wolves pushing in, just using the speed from Anarchy to get in and make something happen. Not able to find anything just yet, and there it is. Not lost, able to get WoW Classic out, and that's going to be big. That Sombra is going to find a ton of value if you let her just stay around for too long. Sunky finding 2 as well, and that is going to be a big first fight 1 for Wolves. It's something that you mentioned as we were coming into this map as well, Alex. Yeah, is that push is it's a new game mode. It's something that players have had to kind of adjust to on the fly here, and it's super interesting how these maps are set up. As you can see right now, the Wolves are pushing into Barracuda's essentially spawn area right now, and just trying to keep the pressure up as Cart is getting pushed here. Cart still has a long way to go. The floor spawn has not been activated yet. Niwo finding Anarchy here, and again just trying to make space, taking this high ground bridge. It's not a bad spot to fight from. They're going to drop down here to try to contest. And as we can see, Niwo going in, getting to about half damage. WoW Classic, again, just trying to find hacks, make life really rough for Wolves, because that is what Sombra's purpose is to make your game not fun. And she's doing super, super well. But I will say, Wolves are doing a great job of countering her right now. Anytime that WoW Classic is popping up, they're right on them every time. And we see the window go out here. However, Wolves are just going to try and push through it. See the hack trying to go off here onto Illusion, and that's going to do it. And that's what happens. Just get melted. Triplet though with the pick. See the grab go down into the cold. Triplet finding a big 2 there for the Barracudas. What a play! Able to maintain and stay alive through the grab and the coal. Find 2 big picks for their team. Kitsune Rush went out as well, and that was just such a winning play right there. We see WoW Classic coming up on EMP, Alakath as well, coming up on Sojourn's ultimate as well. Wolves close to about 4 ults here, so that is going to be tough to sustain, especially with the Lucio ult. That will kind of counter out anything that happens here. Most likely EMP, I'm guessing, is what they'll probably save it for. So let's see how they're able to bounce back in. Niwo taking a lot of damage early here, and he's going to go down to Sunky. Sunky just pushing through here, or rather Illusion now on the Sojourn, finding a ton of value, getting charged up super fast. And see if they pop ult here. They'll be pretty much uncontested. Put down Alakath, and they're just going to save it here because this fight is all but won. Triplet doing a great job, though. Still finding more picks in the back line. Finds that Moira early. Let's see what they're able to do here. Again, both teams just bouncing back. However, Wolves doing a great job of staying on cart and just maintaining this advantage, Alex. This is going to be tough for Barracudas to fight back from. As you can see, the EMP goes out into Alakath's ult. Illusion, though, making it happen. Still doing such good value. Finds Niwo as well. Let's see what they're able to do. Alakath not able to find much of their ult. Triplet, though, again, getting another pick. Illusion is keeping this fight alive. Let's see if WoW Classic's able to get out. They are right back into the heart of the Wolves. The Wolves just have all of the answers right now, Alex. It is tough to take them down.
Absolutely. The Wolves have been looking fantastic on this map. As you were talking about, their play style is once they push in, once the pedal to the metal, they just get so much out of it. And as we've seen on this map, the Wolves, they've been able to rush in Anarchy, not on the Ana that we normally see them, but on the Lucio instead. That just gives them enough of this movement, this versatility, that they can just run into the Barracudas. And it's been working out so well. As we see Sunky drop the ultimate, is going to find 3, going to find 4 as well. Anarchy going to finish off WoW Classic as well, and that is a full team wipe. Barracudas back to the spawn zone. The Wolves just pushing more and more. And as we've seen, the Barracudas haven't even had a chance yet to even move their pillar. It is still right there, right where they left it at the very beginning of the map. Alakath, though, switching to the Widowmaker, finding a pick onto Sunky. We are going to see Niwo pick up a pick onto Illusion, so that's both DPS players for the Wolves taken down. Alakath trying to push forward. All of the Barracudas trying to make something happen. Alakath going to find another pick onto Not Lost. This may be the momentum shift that the Barracudas need to get back into this game, but it's looking tough, Kyler. I'm not going to lie here. The Wolves have had so much pressure. They've pushed it so far. Alakath going to find another one. Kyler, is this the turning point? We will have to find out.
This is what you get out of a player like Alakath, or just out of a strong hit scan player in general. Once they're able to go on, if they're feeling it and they're able to start hitting shots, they can make space. They make the other team think about, again, just poking their head out in these sight lines, and that's what's happening right now. WoW Classic really turned it on right now with Sojourner as well, and that's the thing about push that we've seen so far. You can get beat in the early parts of the game like that. I mean, Wolves essentially pushing it almost all the way to the end here, but all it takes is Barracudas, again, just start hitting some shots, just start really making some space, finding some picks, and that's what they've done here. WoW Classic, again, just being a menace on this Sojourn, getting around. We see the window go out here. Illusion's going to just jump around, try to get out of the way. Let's see if Barracudas are able to capitalize on this window. Likely won't be too much, since Wolves are doing a really good job of just staying out of the way here. However, forward spawn is about to go on for Barracudas. Let's see if Wolves try to stop it. Anarchy finds Alakath, and that is going to be big. That is going to be their trigger. They're going in on this now. Sunky finding one. Lucky as well. Illusion pops ult, and that is just going to be a dangerous scene. You're not going to want to be around when that happens. Illusion finding 2 there to end the fight, and it all started, you mentioned it, we saw Anarchy on the Ana kind of on that main support line earlier, but it's just finding so much value with the Lucio. You get that one trigger, you find Alakath, all of a sudden your players don't have to worry too much about being in sightlines. WoW Classic's still there with Sojourn, but you can be a little bit more aggressive, and that's just what we see, right? We just see the team immediately just jump onto it, start going crazy, and that's what they do. We see the Kitsune Rush go out early here, however, Anarchy counters with the beat. Not lost, not getting any of it though, which is unfortunate. You hate to see that. Alakath doing what they do, finds Illusion here. We see Illusion though, still getting a kill from the grave with their field up. Finds C squared. Alakath finds another one. Lucky goes down here, and that's going to be big. WoW Classic and Alakath again. That is 3 just this fight. Not lost is just going to kind of try to hang out on point, see what they can do. Not going to be enough though. They're just going to run away. Barracudas are back on point, and now things are starting to get interesting here, Alex. This is starting to get a little bit back and forth. We see Illusion trade, or rather switch, to go to the Widowmaker as well, because what did I say earlier? The only way to counter a good Widowmaker is with another one. But Triplet, oh my god, just finding picks at every possible angle, just always knows where to look. And again, all they need to do is hit you with two of those kunai, and that's it, and it's a wrap. We do see forward spawn go live here for Barracudas, doing such a great job of pushing. Sunky takes a ton of damage early, and who else but Triplet on this Kiriko to put them down here. Let's see what they're able to do. We see the Grav come out. Let's see what they're able to do. Illusion finds C squared on the Widow of their own. We see Not Lost trying to get out of here, keep their support line back up. Triplet, behave, dog. My goodness, what a player. It's just getting so much value. Another casual triple, Alex. This is what Triplet has done and keeps their team in this fight. And now they're on the front foot. They are close to taking the lead. 1, maybe 1.5 more fights. We see Niwo go on the ball, which is a super interesting pick. Ball has a lot of survivability. Hasn't found a ton of value, I would say, in the regular meta of this game just yet. Typically because of the prominence of Sombra right now, who's just been shutting down Ball at any given front. But what we're going to see is them get into the back line. There goes the sleep. There goes the Discord. That's typically the story for Ball. We'll see if Niwo stays on them. Triplet finding Lucky, but Illusion putting down Triplet. That's going to be tough now for Barracudas to bounce back from. Sunky pushing forward. Wolves winning this fight. They will take back over control of the robot, and they will be looking to push this pillar to the end, although we'll likely have 1, maybe 2 more fights before they get back there. Let's see how they do, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And we see the Barracudas had such a good push. I completely agree with you. Naiwu on that ball, a very interesting pick. I'm not sure what they're trying to do, how they're trying to switch it up, but we also see on the side of the Wolves, Lucky also switching it up a little bit with the tank lineup as well. Going on to that Orisa that is going to instantly get taken it down. Sunky finds the flank, gonna find 3.
Yeah, that's so big.
So massive, and with that, the Wolves keep up their pressure. They are still going. Anarchy does have that Transcendence available to them. On the side of Barracudas, they have Widowmaker ultimate, but wall hacks are only good for so much. On the other side, we also have WoW Classic with the ultimate. We are going to see the overclock getting popped right now. WoW Classic hunting for anyone, trying to make something happen, and Triplet, of course, there to take down Illusion. You said the only way to counter a Widowmaker is another Widowmaker. Triplet is here to prove you wrong on the Kiriko and just hunting down Illusion on the Widowmaker. We do see Transcendence get popped as well as the ball landmines. Wolves just doing anything to stall out the time right now because Barracudas, they need 1 last push. They're so close to tie it up, but it may be too little too late as the Wolves are just pushing Barracudas off.
Oh, and Lucky doing such a great job to peel for Anarchy there on the Zen. Triplet finding Not Lost. I mean, this fight is going back and forth. Wolves, I really like the way the Wolves tried to set this one up and make Barracudas play into them. WoW Classic finding Anarchy, though. Picks going back and forth. Lucky finding WoW Classic, and that is going to end it on a dime just like that. That was a great showing there. Wolves doing so well to pull it out there in the end. At the end, just a little too much strength, a little bit too quick on their rotations. They really brought it to them. Anarchy, I was so impressed by on the Lucio to see them really pushing the pace. Again, just getting forward, making plays for their team. And then that swap to the Zen at the end found so much value in the Discord. Again, both teams doing so well. Each each round was very, very evenly contested, but just
Yes.
slightly in favor of Wolves. Again, really, really great showing by them. Congratulations, well-deserved win.
Yeah, absolutely. The Wolves really putting on a showcase right now. The flexibility, the versatility of their players really coming on display here, especially their main tank, Lucky, who basically played every single tank on the roster, able to really switch up to whatever the team needed, whatever was desired of them. And you're right, it was so back and forth between the Wolves and the Barracudas. I mean, heck, map 2 ended in a draw. So the closest that it potentially could have been, they went the distance, they went the whole way. But so a huge shout out to Wolves for pushing through and finally able to take that victory. But it is not over for tonight. We still have more matches, more games to go. The Wolves have secured themselves a place in the grand finals, which will be our very last match of the night. But for now, the Barracudas, because they've lost, they've been dropped down, and they will have to fight the Eagles to stay alive if they want a shot at the grand finals. Whoever wins, Eagles versus Barracudas, will have a shot at the Wolves and, of course, a shot at the Esports Tower Rumble title. We are going to be taking a short break, but don't go anywhere, because when we are back, we will have more Esports Tower Rumble action for you, and you are not going to want to miss a second of this. We'll be right back after this.
You want to rank up in Overwatch or Valorant? Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. We'll match you with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
All right, hello and welcome back to, of course, this week's broadcast of the Esport Tower Rumble. We are broadcasting from the Shenandoah Esports Arena here at Shenandoah University in beautiful Winchester, Virginia. I, of course, am your host, Alexander T. Kresek, and joining me to call the action is the legendary Kyler Apgar. If you missed it, we just had an incredible series, the Wolves versus the Barracudas. The Wolves fighting tooth and nail to claw themselves to a victory and secure their position in the grand finals for this week's Esport Tower Rumble. But before we get on to the next matchup, which will be the Eagles versus the Barracudas, we, of course, have got to shout out Esports Tower and everything they do. So, of course, we want to take a second to congratulate all of the Esport Tower Club members who have graduated from the club and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esport Tower Club members have received over $3.9 million. Let me say that again, $3.9 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but also worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players on this list are not only talented, hardworking, and driven, but we also could not be more excited and proud to see all of the opportunities that these players are getting. So, of course, a huge shout out to all of the Esport Tower Club members. They've been working so hard, really putting in everything, both in the game and in their schoolwork as well. So, of course, we got to shout them out. Got to shout out Esport Tower, too, for everything that they've been able to do and all of these scholarship opportunities. We love to see esport players. We love to see young students, young players succeed and do well in everything in all of their fields, not only academically, but also on the side of esports as well. But enough of me just ranting about these amazing students. Let's rant a little bit more about these students and talk about the games coming up next. Of course, we've got the Eagles versus the Barracudas. We just watched the Barracudas take a very tough loss against the Wolves. It was so close, but unfortunately, the victory just slipped out of their grasp, and now they got to fight that mental. They got to fight that negative mindset and take it back to get a win over the Eagles if they want to have a chance to have that rematch against the Wolves. Kyler, first up, of course, we have Control. And what other map on Control but Lijiang Tower? Talk us through this map. Talk us through a little bit of what we might be seeing on this staple of a Control map.
The beautiful Lijiang Tower. I mean, what more can be said about it? We've got the garden map, which was the cover photo there. Great map. Typically is highlighted by the two bridges that come from either spawn that we see most teams typically take that way to point and fight there in the garden. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams kind of roll out there. Going to be big potential Lucio play. I know that we like to see that there, especially for the speed, again, to just try to beat the other team to point and also to try to find some boops on those bridges, make the other team really regret downloading Overwatch in the first place. It's going to be big to see how the Barracudas come out. It's going to be very interesting. I think whenever you drop a tough loss like that, it's not like they were very far out of it at all. They were in that match. They could have very well have beaten the Wolves there. However, it is tough to lose like that. So hopefully their momentum isn't stalled too much. It's going to be it's really going to be dependent on how strongly the Eagles come out and make a statement here. A lot of this map could be determined even just by the first fight on Lijiang here. So it's going to be interesting to see. Lijiang, again, as far as control maps go, are great. Night Market is another map where teams just essentially just run to point and then see who can hold it the longest. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I, again, anticipate we'll probably see some sort of Lucio play. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of Zarya again, because just why would you pick anybody else right now? Sombra potentially. I mean, Sojourn is again another strong pick. So going to be very fun to watch. Again, Barracudas, I hope they're hungry. Otherwise, they might get punched early. See how they bounce back here.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're about to see which team comes out swinging. The Eagles versus the Barracudas. Both of these teams looking very hungry, and of course, this is their last chance to make it to grand finals. Going on to Lijiang Tower, we will be starting out in Gardens, as we saw on that cover photo. So again, both teams rocking the Lucio, and of course, Toxic Kill on the side of the Eagles, I believe, is a player that we've seen before. And then, of course, on the side of the Barracudas, Triplet, again, who has been having a fantastic night. Not as much so on the Lucio, but whatever they play, they are incredible. Naiwu going for that ball. We did see a little bit of ball play last game, so they are a little bit warmed up on it. And then, of course, on the side of the Eagles, they're making this rush BBQ on this Reaper. We typically see them on that Junk, but gonna make a statement on the Reaper, who has been doing fantastic, and with that blue team making a fast statement. The Eagles looking so strong already.
This is what we're this is what we were talking about as we were coming in here, and this is what we're gonna need to see, right? Eagles coming out super strongly. We might have the team names backwards. I'm not sure or not, because I think Barbecue and there we go. Our production team is bar none the greatest. All right, so yeah, that's what we were anticipating, right? It's what I really love to see from players. We see Toxic Kill just lead the way with speed there, and now we see the EMP lead the way. Eagles looking super coordinated so far. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with. My goodness, just utilizing all of their abilities, standing in front of spawn. I mean, they're doing it all here. You mentioned Ewell's the pick on Hammond here, and I love the Hammond pick. It's a little bit off color, right? The team kind of have to adjust to you, and ball survivability in this game has been great so far. And as we can see, Neo finding 2 there, so it's going to be interesting to see how they can adjust, especially on this garden map, where ball can actually have a ton of value, especially with their boops and everything. Bouncing back super fast from what looked like a really strong start by Eagles. I said that first fight really made the momentum of this series as we go in here, and we can see that Barracudas are down easily. I mean, they may have lost that first fight, but they're getting right back into this, and we can see Neo, he's got ult, he's sneaking into the back line, getting healed. Again, ball survivability in this game is not to be understated. Going right in, big hack, but gets the ult off. Let's see if he's able to find any value here. We'll see what happens. We see the call come out, we see the beat come out, Primal Rage out for the Eagles as well. This is a very back and forth fight. Eagles finding picks here, Barbecue as well, getting in on the fun. Let's see, trades going back and forth. Mango, another returner from prior esports towers that we have seen, getting back out there. She's going to be a huge factor again as we start to see these support lines come out. Oh, and a little bit of BM here by Frozen Phoenix. We might be seeing some bad blood between Eagles and Barracudas. Eagles are really taking it right out here. I'm playing very aggressively. We may see them get caught out in certain situations, as we have seen them, I think, already. However, I think that from what they're doing so far, they've looked great. They've really been utilizing the speed by Toxic Kill, just getting forward, and now we see both teams have Blossom here. The EMP is going to be a big one here. Triplet finding the poop on Barbecue. Barracudas are going to have space here. We see the Blossom go out. Chair is able to find Toxic Kill, which is going to be rough, putting them all down here. Eagles are going to get up to about 81% as Barracudas flip the point here. 2 team kills for Barracudas. I mean, when they are on, Alex, they are on. Looking very good. Neo almost back to ult here, doing a very good job of charging up here. Barbecue still holding on to that Blossom here. So let's see what they're, and I'm calling them Barbecue. It's BBQ. I don't know, it might not be, it might not stand for Barbecue. So I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong there. I apologize. I need to get it right here. BBQ holding on to Blossom here. Let's see what they're able to do. See Neo able to get their ult here as well. Have Mines. Alacath finding one early and just like shooting fish in a barrel, and then they put their field in there as well, which does a ton of damage if you're just standing a little too idly. Triplet finding the boop on the Avian is going to be rough here. Mango now has Coalescence as well. Let's see if she's able to find some effectiveness with that. Again, both teams just kind of trading back and forth. BBQ trying to get in with the Blossom, but it's not going to find any finding a ton of value. Let's see if Avian's just able to touch here. I'm thinking that they will likely be able to. Not sure how much it's going to be able to do for the Eagles. They find the hack onto Niwo on the ball. Let's see where they're able to go from here. Able to get back onto point. Avian doing a solid job, doing what they can for their team. Let's see if anybody else is able to follow up. It's looking like Mango will get there, catapulting onto point. Not sure it's going to be enough, though, as Barracudas take the first round on Li Zhong. That is a crazy, crazy back and forth, Alex. I think we're in for another good game here, man. My lord.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Both these teams looking very, very strong. Eagles had a fantastic start to this matchup. They really came out swinging. Such a great way of taking up space. But again, as you said, when the Barracudas take space, when they take these engagements and they win these engagements, they just team wipe, they reset, and they take control. So the Barracudas have been doing such a fantastic job. And of course, a player that we've been highlighting all night that I want to highlight again some more is Triplet. Now, not on the Kiriko, but instead on this Lucio. And what we've seen out of them is we saw them take that early pick onto BBQ's Reaper, which had Blossom, which allowed JR to have that space to Blossom uncontested, get that team wipe, and allow the reset for Barracudas to keep control of the point. And then later, when we saw BBQ go in with their ultimate, we saw Triplet again boop BBQ out of the way, protecting the rest of their team from that Death Blossom. So again, a huge shout out to these support players. Again, I feel like support players don't get enough love, so I just want to shout them out as we are commencing onto the tower part of Li Zhang Tower, and we are going to see Frozen Phoenix on this Rhine doing a fantastic job. And again, the Eagles starting out so strong, able to take the point immediately, and Frozen Phoenix picking up 2, gonna find a third one as well. There, with that, Barracuda's just got to walk back home and reset. Got to wait for everyone to restart. We have Triplet just hiding out here on the edge. Going to get taken out by BBQ, and the Eagles, a fantastic start to things.
I like Triplet's mindset there, trying to bait out some boops at the end of the fight. Not going to be enough, though. The Eagles aren't going to fall for it and take advantage. You mentioned it. Frozen Phoenix looking so strong here in the front line with the Rhine, finding a ton of value, actually forcing Niwo to switch onto the Rhine as well, which you might have just mentioned there. So let's see what they're able to do. It's going crazy. Window goes down as well. Barracuda's doing a good job of not really giving them anything, just not staying in that sight line. But it does buy the Eagles some more time and gets them above 50% here on this point. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of keep rolling here with all the ults in their hands right now, allowing Barracuda to just take some space. We do see Shatter, though, and it goes down for Frozen Phoenix. Finds a couple, but doesn't find a ton. We see the beat go down at a perfect time for Triplet. Saves Niwo as he gets pinned there. Insane timing. And now Barracudas are on the front foot, looking to take point. Eagles are over 70%, which is big for them. JR cleaning up here. JR, it all makes sense. I don't know why it took me so long to say. JR cleaning up. We're going to see Barracudas flip point over to themselves for the first time here. And now, ult advantage looking like it is getting back into their favor here. Coming up on 4 ults, we do see Toxic Kill holding onto a beat, but not necessarily an easy one to pick. The Barracudas don't really have a lot of ults here that you look at a Lucio and be like, hey, I want to counter this one with my beat. So he's really going to have to use it at his discretion here and hopefully get a lot of value out of it. It's going to be interesting to see. Tyre coming out here from BBQ. Great angle on it. And he is able to find Niwo, which is going to be big. Niwo does put the Shatter down, though. Doesn't really find too much with the JR coming in. BBQ putting it in work. Finds 3. Is really able to open up here. Alakath in the back line, though, putting Toxic Kill down. Avian now allowing Eagles to push on a point, although it's not going to be super easy as Alakath puts Avian down as well. It's not going to be enough here, likely, for Eagles, as Barracudas will likely retain point. Alakath putting out a ton of damage. We talked about them last game as well on that hit scan, and they are charged up. Oh, but barbecue, I said it again, shuts it down, going crazy on this junk, just all over the place. This is hectic, folks. Both teams just trying to put damage out, do what they can here. We see the boop come in from Toxic Kill there to keep Mango alive. Mango puts the window down, and they've got Niwo in a tough spot, and that is what happens. Putting the speed forward, trying to get the team onto point here is Toxic Kill. Frozen Phoenix pushing forward into the spawn, and look how fast they are rolling through here, making space. However, Barracudas do take the lead onto 77%. Now, this is absolute madness right now, Alex. I cannot keep up. Holy God, Avian overclock, finding Alakath as well. Looking like Niwu's going to put down Avian. Both teams just trading back and forth. JR trying to roll back, get the team back into spot. Gonna be one more fight here for the Barracudas. Let's see if Avian can get back to Eagles on time. This is gonna be tough. 4v5 to start this off with, and Frozen Phoenix is just charging in and just trying to get it done. Let's see who ults first. We see the beat go out for Barracudas. Is it enough? Triplet and JR both fighting picks, but the BBQ Martyrdom puts down Kath, finding Toxic Kill to the background as well. JR still, though, such a strong player. I don't think I've spoken enough about JR doing so well here, particularly on the Rhine. Barracuda's able to flip point. Going to be one more fight for both teams. It all comes down to this right now, Alex. Niwu holding on to Shatter. This is going to be big. JR holding on to Blossom. This is going to be really all down to this. Mango puts the window out early, but JR comes through. It is just wrecking everyone. Finds 3 there with the Niwus for Fire Strike, finding Mango. That is going to be enough for Barracudas to take map 1. What a fight, man. Back and forth, my lord.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was so back and forth. I mean, Barracuda's have been having a night for sure. Every game that we've seen them in so far is just so back and forth, back and forth. Although it did end up being a 2-0 in favor of Barracudas for this map number 1. It was by far not an easy road. The Eagles right there nipping at their heels the entire way, the entire time, and a fantastic job from practically every member of the team. Everyone was pulling their weight. Everyone was doing what they needed to. At the end, though, it really came down to that ult usage. It really came down to JR as well as the Reinhardt Shatter that they had lined up as well. Just so impactful for the Barracudas. Those little additional ultimates that they were able to throw down to secure the fight at the end was incredible. I love this entire series. I've loved all the matches tonight. It has been incredible. Wow, that was just game number 1. This is a best of 3. We could potentially see 2 more maps. Kyler, really quickly, walk me through what happened there for Lijiang, and maybe what do the Eagles need to do to take game number 2?
That's a tough one if you're the Eagles, because you didn't make a ton of mistakes, right? I think going into it, they played super well. They started off on Garden very strong, just ran over, took point, got it up to about like 50%, and replicated that on the following map as well. So it's going to be tough going forward. I think what they're likely going to have to do, I feel like the support line for Barracudas is just holding up so well. I mean, we talked about Triplet back there again, just looking so strong. There's probably got to be some emphasis there. I think they probably need to do a little bit better of a job of protecting their supports, keeping them alive. Easier said than done, again, especially with the pace at which these games are moving. So they're really just gonna have to kind of hunker down. Be prepared to react, take the first step, stay aggressive, press W. It's always my favorite saying. Just move forward and just try to make something happen. But with that being said, they're facing stiff opposition, so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tight. It's just gonna come down to a couple plays. So I'm looking forward to moving into this next map here.
Yeah, while we're talking about the next map, let's take a look at what we have lined up next. Of course, the first map was Control. The second map is Hybrid, and if we go to the third map, it will be Push. So, of course, on Hybrid, another classic, we've got Numbani, a map that we really haven't seen a whole lot of, and I am very excited. I mean, while we're talking about the Barracudas, right, this is an opportunity for Alakath to bring out the Widowmaker, especially for that first point. There is so much verticality in this map, especially on that first capture point, that Alakath in particular can play with these sniper roles a lot easier. We might even see more of the Winston as well, and I'm just really excited. Kyler, what are your thoughts on Numbani here?
Yeah, so we saw the Kings Row in the last series, where the Barracudas and the Wolves really utilized the high ground around point there to kind of draw the enemy team in, and then we're able to kill so much time just by kind of bouncing around there. Numbani is no different, and I mean I anticipate that we'll see something really similar on this first point. You mentioned the Widow. I think Alakath is itching right now to lock Widow and play them going in here. We've seen both teams really utilizing the Rhine. I don't think we'll see that at least on the first point. It's tough to get a ton of value out of Rhine. I'm not a great Rhine player. However, it's a little bit tougher to get so much value again with all that elevation, with all that verticality you have to worry about. You mentioned the Monkey or the Winston. I think we're likely to see that as well. Maybe Niwu gets crazy and goes ball. I mean, we know that they're not averse to that. We may see them there. Devo be another really great pick. It's gonna be interesting to see because again, with new money, we get a lot of flexibility in terms of compositions that we can kind of roll out here. So we'll see, man. It's really going to come down again to just whoever kind of wants it a little bit more here, and makes probably just one more play, right? So we'll see how they proceed. We see them coming out on a couple different things. We see the Devo, we see the Monkey, but they could be just teasing us here, and they may switch it up. We'll see.
Yeah, and here we go. Starting out on Numbani, we are going to see Eagles take the defense first. Barracudas on the attack. Diva, another one of these characters that has done so well in Overwatch 2. Again, one of these really, really great tanks that has kind of been buffed really well, almost unintentionally, but has done really well in the meta recently. We are going to see the Pharmacy coming out from BBQ and Toxikill, so that's the Pharah and the Mercy. A lot of damage coming out, and especially in my casual games, no one knows how to deal with the Pharah, so maybe that will be the same way. But remember, as we see Frozen Phoenix getting the first pick onto Alakath, this is match point for the Barracudas. This is a best of 3. If they win it here, they are able to make it to the grand finals and get that rematch against the Wolves that I'm sure they are hungry for. But the Eagles, on the other side of things, not making it easy as we see Frozen Phoenix pick up another one onto Triplet. This, of course, like all of the matches that we've seen tonight, already looks so competitive, and I cannot wait to get deeper into this match as Frozen Phoenix gets pushed away to eating so much damage but has all of the support there to heal back up. Kyler, what are we going to see here?
Yeah, Mango charging up ult like it's nobody's business. She is going crazy on this Ana. Already looking at a Nano here, which is going to be super strong. Either Frozen Phoenix or Avian to really get in on. We do see the Nano go out here. I can't see quite who it got put on. I'm going to guess it's Frozen Phoenix, but it is Avian. Allowing Avian to just really charge up ult a little bit faster here. They didn't even need to use Blade. And there they go, just running amok here. Eagles doing a really good job, and this is what we were talking about coming into this. That was going to really be the determinant for this map, was how the defending team holds high ground. And right now, Eagles are just doing that beautifully. We see Frozen Phoenix is already 90 to Primal Rage. Avian's 96 to Blade. Mango doesn't have Nano anymore, but even still, I imagine with the way the Avian has been playing, Genji will still find a ton of value even with a non-Nano Dragon Blade. So let's see what they're able to do. Frozen Phoenix doing an absolutely immaculate job, but Blade comes out here. Let's see. We find one. Avian gets one already. Avian gets 2 on C squared, who just misses a sleep. Super unfortunate. Niwo trying to put some damage here on the backline on Toxikill, who is doing a great job on that Mercy. Triplet and Niwo both find picks here, and they are now on to point, and they've got a tick here. Eagles went down pretty fast. I like the solo bomb. That is super aggressive. It just forces Mango off that high ground and now has to fight the Diva. We see the bomb, or rather the nade go out. Not going to be enough. Niwo and Triplet almost single-handedly force point over to Barracudas. Eagles doing everything right. Barracuda's just able to make the right play and get forward and just do enough here. We see Frozen Phoenix diving in. Not going to last for very long. BBQ on the Pharah finding a decent amount of value here. Doing well. We see that they've got Barrage here. Now for second fight. Could have used that in first fight. Would have been really big for them. But what can you do? Going to be enough to just kind of try and hold cart at this corner. Both teams holding on, lining up their ults pretty well here. We're going to see a Bob come out soon. Probably going to see a Nano Blade, I imagine, very, very soon. Let's see what JR is able to do and how this other team is able to coordinate. Going to be tough to get up to the Pharah with it, especially with the Mercy pocketing her as well. Here it comes, though. There's the Nano. Let's see if they're able to find. Oh, but Mango with the sleep shuts it down in the back line. And if you were JR, you were sick to your stomach right now because you just had a perfect opportunity to get that cart so much farther forward. Again, Barracuda's doing a really great job here just staying on. What a play by Mango. My goodness. You know that's one that she's going to have clips in on her wall here just to be able to refer back to whenever she wants. Great play there. We do see the Nano come out there for Frozen Phoenix, jumping in, just going to do a ton of damage and make a lot of space. Bob goes out as well, but doesn't find any kills or anything like that. Eagles doing a good job of keeping it siphoned off from them. Let's see if both teams, again, just starting to feel each other out a little bit, make some room, recap, get everybody back here. Cart moving backwards just by a little bit, but not going to be too much to pressure Barracudas or make them worry about it. Avian diving in, or JR diving in and finding out, running right into Avian. Frozen Phoenix putting down Triplet as well. Frozen Phoenix putting down Alakath, just finding value all over the place. Niwu trying to do what they can, but it is not going to be enough. Barracudas will push Cart likely, Eagles doing a great job of just staying strong on defense there. Able to really keep it together there, Alex. Pretty tough, pretty aggressive push by Barracudas, but now we're seeing that Eagles are here with a strong ult advantage, 3-0 and not even close for Barracudas. So this is going to be a tough comeback for them right here, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that we are seeing is the Barracudas realize that they used their ultimates. They didn't have anything left in the tank, so they decide that that's the time for them to switch it up. We see Alakath switching over to the Soldier 76, a character that we have seen them have a little bit more success in. And then we see Naiwu pulling out the Roadhog, a very impactful character. And already things are heating up. Avian pulls out the blade, picks up 2. Toxic Kill trying to get the res onto BBQ. Will actually do it. Naiwu getting these unorthodox picks up in the air and now hunting down this Pharah as BBQ just trying to make it out alive. Frozen Phoenix doing a great job just holding Cart, but only for so long. It looks like the Barracudas will be able to push to completion. Triplet, again, whenever you talk about support players also getting aggressive, you have to mention Triplet, finding that kill onto BBQ. And surprisingly, the switch has actually helped out. We have not seen a lot of competitive Hog, but I mean, the space that Hog takes up and the displacement that he adds is just so impactful. We are going to see Frozen Phoenix drop the Primal Rage. Ultimates, again, still in favor of the Eagles, and Barracudas are just forced to run back. Just take that L, walk away. Avian running down the rest of the players. Alakath just trying to get the Mercy, is going to find it, is still alive too, as we see JR there to protect the other DPS line, and we are seeing Naiwu also up there getting a pick as well. The fight is so long, it's so drawn out, and it has so many different parts. It's so spread out. This fight is just like one continuous fight. Not something we normally see in Overwatch, but it seems to be benefiting the Barracudas as they are getting more progression on the cart. Kyler, they're doing it. They're pushing.
Alakath is this switch to Soldier was huge for them, and we're seeing the blade come out here. Let's see if Avian's able to find anything with it. Barracudas did a great job of just getting back and not really giving them anything. Alakath just all over the place. The disengages by both teams have been so strong. I mean, Barracuda's been putting on truly like a masterclass just when they pull out from point, when to know that a fight is lost and when they need to regroup here. And you're right. I mean, it feels like both teams are going into every fight like already like 2 people down maybe, and it's just like continuous, just non-stop. Barracuda's getting close here, not able to get it just yet. Niwu putting Toxic Kill down though. That's going to be big for the Barracudas. Let's see if they're able to stay on point here. I don't know if it's going to be just enough. I think it's going to be one of these endless fights that we're going to see. At this point, Eagles probably just trying to play for overtime and see if they're able to force Barracudas into it. Let's see what they're able to do. We see that the Nano goes out onto Niwu, who again, yeah, that Roadhog you mentioned is such a strong pick right now. JR finding BBQ, and that is going to be it with 26 seconds left. The Barracudas are going to push the point to end to put the pressure onto Eagles. Match point, as you stated. This is going to be real back against the wall. They've got to get it done now. Do the Eagles? I know Barracudas are again licking their lips. They want to get right back after the Wolves to try to redeem that tough loss that they had there in the first series prior to this one. So Eagles going to do what they can to keep it alive. It's going to be tough for them, man. I feel like going into going into Numbani again, like I said, they're not doing anything too wrong really. I just Barracudas are just picking their fights a little bit better. They're doing a good job at making sure that they're long, drawn out, like you said, and just giving their teammates the opportunity to get back into fights. And that's been tough to overcome for the Eagles. So we're gonna have to see a little bit more from them as we go in here. Great plays on both sides though from both teams. So let's see what they can do, Alex. I'm really looking forward to see how the Eagles fight now that this is a must-win.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And something interesting that we are seeing on the side of the Barracudas is we have Alakath currently hovering over that Junkrat. And I think that he's past the hovering stage. I think he's out of the base at this point. At this point, because JR is on the Genji and Alakath is on the Junkrat, they don't really have a hit scan DPS character. So thankfully, they don't need to worry about it because BBQ and Avian aren't on the Pharah. But it seems like a risk that they were willing to take just because they really wouldn't have had anything to deal with any flyer like an Echo or a Pharah if Eagles decided to switch to that. So I think it was a really interesting choice, and it ends up benefiting them. The risk versus reward, they obviously thought it was worth it, as they are now holding the high ground. Barracuda is getting very, very low, but the support coming out so strong. Of course, these immortality fields from Triplet, so good. BBQ going to be taking it down, as well as getting that new grenade kill onto JR, and Avian finding Triplet. Eagles already making space, taking space. Avian going insane right now, Kyler.
Yeah. Avian showing out there. That is a strong first push from the Eagles. If you are them, you feel really, really good about that first fight. Almost running a sort of pseudo dive comp here, I would say. Mango, I don't know if we've called it out a ton. Mango's nades this game have been nuts. She has hit some huge ones, and they were able to really take advantage of that there going into that fight. So good first fight by them. You got Toxic Kill as well on the Zen, so they're able to really pick their targets out with that Discord. And Avian goes down early there, which is rough, but you do see the effects of having that Genji in a comp like this, where they're able to just go through and just clean up and just get kills, and that's what they were able to do on that first point here. Barracudas get the first couple fights as Frozen Phoenix and Avian get caught out pretty far ahead, but they're not going to be too upset about that here because they're just pushing card a little bit. However, we do see Niwu engage here and start trying to put some damage out, make things happen. Toxic Kill goes out early, which is tough if you are an Eagles fan. You don't want to see that happen. However, Avian doing a good job of keeping the pressure on, keeping that form up, finds Triplet, and they are chasing Niwu into that door, which might end up being very, very rough as Barracudas recover here. JR doing a great job matching that Genji play and getting the picks necessary. That was almost real bad news if that hook would have brought Toxic Kill around that corner, especially since they're sitting really close here to Trance, which will be very, very big for them. However, we do see 3 ults online for Barracudas. Let's see the way that they set this up. I'm going to be really interested to see. I imagine that they're either going to might nano visor this, I'm not sure. But Niwu just takes the opportunity to get Frozen Phoenix. You can't pass that up when you get it. That's a big. Both teams now playing without a tank to guide them. Let's see what they do. Trying to snuff out this Kiriko in the back. Again, Triplet playing it like a DPS character. Sets JR up for a 4K. Alex, my lord, this Triplet is all over the place. An absolute menace with this Kiriko. You have to be at all times, and now this team is set up beautifully for, again, either a nano visor or a nano blade. Each one is a fight winner in and of itself. Toxic Kill does not have trance yet, so they're going to have a really hard time countering this. Toxic Kill, close though, could have trance here in the next couple seconds. If I'm the Barracudas, I'm trying to bait out trance or at least get Toxic Kill out of this as quickly as I can. Mango goes down, and that works all the same. That is big in and of itself. However, we do see Avian trying to put the pressure on. Here comes Arissa's ult from Frozen Phoenix. Isn't able to find anybody. Avian goes down here as well. Man, Barracudas are just locked in right now, doing such a great job. BBQ is able to find Niwu on the ball. Again, just doing such a great job of just holding here. Alakath continuously putting out damage, just absolutely relentless. Toxic Kill does have Trance though, which is going to be big. However, he is almost certainly going to have to commit it to one of the DPS ults. Likely Visor, even more likely Nano Blade. But if I'm Barracudas, I'm probably popping Visor here just to try and get that Trance out. If best case scenario, kill Toxic Kill. But they are better than me, and they're making it happen right now. They do get the Trance out while still holding on to Visor and Nano. There goes the Visor. No Nano, and BBQ shuts it down! Oh my goodness! C-Squared didn't get the Nano off, and now Eagles are finding picks all over the shop. There are 2 Hammonds right now. I feel like I have not seen this in Overwatch 2 just yet. I haven't seen competing Wrecking Balls. Just back and forth, this is great to see! Wow! What a play by the Eagles to take advantage of the Barracudas. Alex, that is tough, man. If you are the Barracudas, you had a winning recipe right there. Eagles did a great job of identifying though who the counterplay needed to be, where they needed to put the focus, and let's see if they're able to go ahead and get it. Ult likely going out there by Frozen Phoenix, did a great job of zoning that off. Avian's able to find the pick, not pushing cart though, likely Niwu holding on.
And oh my gosh, the cart is so close to
I don't even have the commentary to keep up.
No, yeah. Frozen Phoenix gonna get taken down. Naiwu does drop the Hammond ultimate onto the cart, and the rest of the Eagles are gonna get cleaned up. They have a minute remaining, and they're 3 meters and climbing away from that point. Barracudas need to hold this even more. Again, though, Eagles just have 1 ultimate to their name, and that's more of a zoning ultimate. Frozen Phoenix with the Hammond ultimate is there. Avian trying to hunt down Naiwu. Barracudas don't have an ultimate to their name, so there is a slight advantage as we do see that Hammond ultimate gets dropped on the point, but not really able to do much. JR just trying to stay alive, reflecting some of the Hammond ball back. BBQ finally finding the first pick onto C-Squared. Both these teams have been playing so safe. BBQ is going to get the kill onto JR. Naiwu is going to trade it back. BBQ then finding triplet. And oh my gosh, this is so back and forth. Both these teams just going. We're going to see the ultimate from Naiwu onto the point, making it so difficult for them to push, and they are able to finally push this point to completion, but they only have a minute 30, and Alakath switched to the Widowmaker. We're gonna see Alakath clicking some more heads as BBQ unprepared and doesn't have the range to deal with a Widowmaker as that Junkrat. Kyler, this is what we thought it was gonna be. The Eagles, they fought, they clawed their way to make this second checkpoint, and they're pushing forward, but the Barracudas are not making it easy for them at all. They know that the Eagles need to complete this map, and they are just slowing them down at every point, every way here. Naiwu in the back being a nuisance, trying to catch out the Zenyatta. Toxic Kill does have Transcendence. We are going to see Mango drop the window, and Naiwu now from behind, hunting this Zenyatta, who is forced to drop the trance. Wow, what a
well-timed trance there. Wow. Wow, to save themselves, and honestly, I think that's the play that you need to make at this point. You don't have many fights left. You got to stay alive and give your team an opportunity to win it. As we see Frozen Phoenix come out with the ultimate here, Niwu just causing so much havoc, and that's what Ball serves to do at this point. We see JR get put down by Frozen Phoenix's ult here, and it is enough for the Eagles to push cart to the end. What a showing here with their backs against the wall, Alex. My goodness, they came through right when they needed them the most.
Absolutely, and I don't know if you saw the time difference there, but the Barracudas have 2 additional seconds, and that is all that they have here. These games have been so close. They've been so back and forth. You can tell how badly both these teams want to win it. They're going all out here. The Eagles, a fantastic final push to close out that point, and now we are on to overtime. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it feels like every single fight that every single match that we've seen is going the distance, and this one is no different at all. The question is, are we going to see another draw on our hybrid map, or will one of these teams be able to close out this series? I mean, that's the question, right? That's what's on my mind. We saw Kings Row. Will we see the same thing happen on Numbani, Kyler?
the run from spawn on the attack side is so much longer on Numbani, and that's what's like kind of scary about this, right? Is if you're an attacker for the Eagles, dying is a death sentence in this case, which sounds pretty stupid, but dying is a death sentence for your team more so than anything, right? You do not have a lot of wiggle room here, and that's what it's really going to come down to. Interesting comps by both teams here. We see Barracudas with pretty mobile, pretty solid comp here that can kind of do whatever they need it to. The pharmacy is going to be tough, especially because BBQ is going to be one of the only ones that is equipped to deal with it, rather than, the D.Va can certainly get up there as well, but she's going to have her hands full kind of just protecting damage and everything like that. So let's see how it goes. Pressuring the pharmacy here. There they go. Frozen Phoenix gets put down, and that's rough. 18 seconds on the clock already. Toxic Kill goes down. Barracudas have executed this fight perfectly, and that's all they needed to do. Truly just try to win one fight. Looks like Eagles are trying to stay alive for maybe hopes that somebody can get back. I don't know if it's going to be enough. 3 seconds left. Rocket Barrage already up by JR. Somebody touch. Looks like it's going to be BBQ. I don't know if it's going to be enough. We do see the ball come back and just try to touch point. What a hook there by Niwu. I don't know. I don't think Barracudas are going to have enough time here to touch again. Somebody's going to have to try and rush back. No tick. Hard hold from Barracudas. And this game is now theirs for the taking, Alex. They have the opportunity to put this thing right away. They held that wonderfully with a pretty unorthodox sort of comp, but again, it's one of those ones that you just have to identify quickly, and that's tough to do when you're on the fly, especially with 1 minute to attack. Like I said, Numbani run up here, the aisleway is long. It takes a while to get from spawn to point here, so Barracuda's played that perfectly. Gonna be tough for the Eagles. Alex, we are on pace for another draw here, and that would be insane to see.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's insane. These teams are so neck and neck. And yeah, you're right, we're on pace for another draw, but it is up to the Barracudas to break that sort of rhythm that they're getting in and not end it in a draw. They just need one tick, but they have a negligible amount of extra time. They just have 2 extra seconds than the Eagles had. So really, this first push from the Barracudas has got to be strong. It has to be swift, and they need to make something happen. They need to get these early picks, and they really need something interesting here. As we see, JR is on the Torb. Never mind. It was a bait. I thought we were going to see the Torb, but instead we're just going to stick with the Pharah. Again, using this interesting team comp that they had before. It worked out for defense, so why wouldn't it work on attack? And Frozen Phoenix also adapting this by also going the Roadhog. I've never seen so many hogs, and I love it.
Hog is a great pick right now in the game. I feel like you get a ton of value in Barracuda. Strike first, find Toxic Kill. That's going to be big. Let's see who gets the next one, because that may be determining. JR finds AV, and it's going to be really tough to bounce back now if you're the Eagles. Don't know if it's going to be enough. Alakath finds Frozen Phoenix, and that is going to be it. Just as fast as it started, Alex, it is over. Barracudas played wonderfully. They followed up on that strong performance that we saw in the first series, although it ended up with a loss to the Wolves. GG's on the other side there as well. Strong performance by both teams. Just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Of course, we got to give a huge shout out to the Eagles. They were playing amazing, incredible. And of course, a huge shout out to the team captain, Mango. We kept shouting her out over and over again. Such a fantastic support player, whether it's on that Moira, whether it's on the BAP, whether it's on the Ana, whatever a character that she was playing, she was being impactful and making the difference for her team. So of course, huge shout out to the Eagles. They played incredibly, but unfortunately tonight it was not enough. And now the Barracudas, with a victory under their belt, will have the opportunity to run it back with the Wolves and get a shot at that grand finals title championship. Oh my goodness, Kyler, I am so excited for this. We will be going to a short break in just a moment, but before that, of course, if you are enjoying this action, if you want to see more, make sure to follow Esports Tower on their socials. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Make sure to follow them at Esports Tower. They have some fantastic content and, of course, some amazing players. You're going to see more things like this, and not just in Overwatch. They've got plenty of games as well, so you're not going to want to miss any of the action. And, of course, if you like me, if you like Kyler, and you want to see more of us, make sure to follow Shenandoah University's eSport at our socials as well. Of course, on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, that is at Shenyu Esports, and then everywhere else, Twitch, YouTube, that is at Shenandoah Esports, of course, so make sure to follow us there as well. When we return, we will have the grand finals, the run back we've been waiting for, the Wolves versus the Barracudas. Take a moment, grab some popcorn, sit down, make yourself comfortable. When we return, we will have grand finals. See you soon.
You want to rank up in Overwatch or Valorant? Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. We'll match you with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Yeah. If you are just joining us, we have had an incredible series of events leading up to this match, the grand finals, the Wolves versus the Barracudas.
I am so stoked for this matchup all night. All of the matches have been back and forth, and the Barracudas have been put through the ringer, but they've clawed themselves up and now have an opportunity to run it back with the Wolves and have a shot at that Esports Tower Rumble title. I, of course, am your host for tonight, Alexander T. Kresek, and joining me to call the action is one of my favorite casters of all time. It, of course, is Kyler Apgar. After the events of tonight, Kyler, how are you feeling with everything that's been going down?
Dude, it's just so good to be back in the swing of things, man. I appreciate the fanfare greatly. I love you so much. It's so good to be back in here with you one more time. And I mean, it's just what really brings us together more so than anything is just the level of Overwatch that we get to watch. Man, it's just like, it's so fun to just step in here as a fan and just like watch what these kids can do. I mean, this has been back-to-back series of just nonstop action, just plays constantly, fun things to watch. And I mean, I get to bounce them off of you. It's just awesome. It's just a win-win for everybody involved. Truly, it's been fantastic, man.
Yeah, it has been, it's been a breath of fresh air, honestly, to just get back into this. So without further ado, let's look up at the map lineup that we have. Again, we're starting with Control, moving into Hybrid, and then Push if we go to that Game 3. Even Grand Finals is a best of 3, so we very possibly could see that third map as we did in set number 1 when we saw the Wolves take down the Barracudas 2-1, sort of, because map 2 was a draw. But first up, we have Nepal on that Control. I love the fact that we get to see so many different Control maps, and we are just hopping right into it. Ooh, Kyler, let's take it away. What are we looking at here?
We're looking at the Series 1 rematch, Wolves and Barracudas, and that was very, very close. Wolves won it with the tie with the tie on the second map on King's Row. So very strong performance by them. But Barracudas weren't far out of it. So I'm sure the Barracudas are going to be really looking to put this thing away here. Illusion getting busy on point here as Farah, and they're going to get right into it. However, that's going to be a crazy sleep by C Squared, as that's going to put Illusion down as Niwu finds Sunky in the back line as well. Barracudas are not pulling any punches this round. They're saying, yo, we remember what happened in the first series, and we're ready to put it away. And this is going to be great to see. You mentioned Nepal is an awesome Control map. We're starting off on Shrine here, which is like your prototypical Control map, right? Just smack in the middle, completely symmetric and parallel. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how both teams kind of start to adjust here. We see Sombra come out pretty early here for the Wolves, swapping off to try and counter this ball here. And that's what you're going to see right into it. However, I mentioned survivability the ball has right now. And look at Niwu getting out of there. How do you get out of there? That is unbelievable. He survived the rock and the hack to roll back and again just be a menace, and that's your purpose as ball, truly, more so than anything, to put pressure on the back line and just to be as annoying as possible. Any self-respecting ball player will tell you that, and Niwu has been doing a great job so far at just being a menace as JR finds Anarchy in the back line, and that is going to be tough. They are now missing both their supports. JR going crazy in the back line as Niwu comes in to help clean up as well, just trying to put away Illusion on the Sombra. However, Illusion doing a great job of getting the hacks off, does have EMP here for next fight. However, Triplet is going to try in phase counter that out with Beat. We will see how it goes down here though. JR getting mighty close, but not lost, gets the pick on Triplet. That's going to be rough if you see that come out here. Illusion now can get a free EMP. Let's see if they're able to get in and capitalize on that. Triplet going to be getting back to point as quickly as possible here. Anarchy finding C Squared. Wolves able to get some picks here. Let's see what they do. JR rolling into point. Lucky trying to find something. Goes ahead and finds the rock on Alakath, who's close to an overclock, but is going to get over to that health pack. We're seeing the Beat come out there to counter the Gravitic Flux, and here comes the EMP. Let's see what they do. JR gets the Blossom in and finds Lucky. Sunky coming up the right-hand side here as Soldier. JR finds another one, finds both the supports and Sunky going crazy here, and that is going to be enough for the Barracudas by on the backs of a very, very strong performance by JR on that Reaper, who I have not talked about enough, but has been so consistent throughout all 3 of these games that we've seen so far. JR doing a great job, particularly on this Reaper, giving their team a chance again. And I had their name wrong the first couple of rounds. I said JR. I don't know why I said that. You know, sometimes you just see these usernames, you don't know exactly what to say, right? I'm just going by letters. But has done such a good job, again, consistently. You see Alakath teasing this Widow, which on Sanctum, on this Nepal map, is a pretty popular pick, especially in the days of Overwatch 1. We would see double sniper, we'd see Hanzo and Widow come out here. There are some great sightlines that I'm sure that Alakath knows of and will take advantage of going into this next fight. So let's see what they're able to do as we see Niwu again rolling in, just initiating the fight super early. Funnily enough, we see Illusion starting off on this Torb, so let's see what both teams are able to do. Scary sightline here for Alakath. Let's see if they're able to find any value. Nothing quite just yet. Putting some pressure on Illusion as the Torb. Just enough to get the turret out. JR again dominating the front line, finding so much value. And there goes Alakath finding Sunky. And this is going to be tough for the Wolves. Barracuda is just making sense of everything right now. Playing Sanctum so well, Alex. This is going to be a tough one to push into. If you can tell by the way that Barracuda's got set up. And look at this right here. This is just map knowledge to a T. I don't even know if I know to look up here, Alex. What the heck?
No way. Such a cheeky spot right here from the Barracudas. Alakath has got this sniper roll on deck. Anarchy is going to find a pick on a triplet as we do see a couple of changes for the Wolves come out. Lucky is now on that Diva. Illusion now on the Junkrat. But is it too little too late? The Barracuda still holding control of point, and on the side of JR just able to do so much damage. Niwu coming and dropping the Hammond ultimate as well. Lucky is so close to being dead. There's no heals. Is going to get demeched and will eventually fall. Again, the Barracuda is doing a great job of holding this point, and the shot across the way, C-squared finding Illusion. None of the Wolves can escape, and the Barracudas now have a fantastic ult advantage. They've got JR, they've got C-squared with the nano, they've got Alakath with the wall hacks. The Wolves really just have Anarchy's window, and Lucky will eventually have Diva Bomb in just a moment here.
And he gets the nano. That is a mean Beyblade right there. I'm sorry to cut you off, Alex. Oh my god, look at all that Reaper in the kill feed. My goodness, you could tell that he was scoping it out. And Alex, you said it, and I just want to elaborate on something that you highlighted, is just the defense that the Barracudas have set up here. They have made this miserable to try to run through if you're a Wolves player right now. No matter where you go, they've extended their defense so far. C-squared his positioning is so good here with Ana that you can't even really pressure him. They don't have any dive players really to kind of take advantage. Niwu doing such a great job here. Alakath finding Lucky, and that's going to be so hard to push in on now that you're missing. C-squared finding Anarchy. So many different plays here. See Sunky trying to make something happen, but JR is right there to peel. Blossom coming out early, but the boot by Triplet to set it up, and that is going to be enough for the Barracudas to take map 1, Alex. Such a strong performance there, and you know that has to feel good coming off that Series 1 loss. Get that map win under their belt. They got to be feeling good about themselves now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, not only was it just a map 1 under their belt, it was the most dominant win we've seen the Barracudas take against the Wolves. I mean, when we saw in the first set in Series 1, the Barracudas weren't even able to take a win off of the Wolves. They were only able to draw them in King's Row. So the fact that we see them now very dominant in Nepal, able to take the aggression, take the fight to the Wolves, kind of flip the Wolves strategy, use what the Wolves were doing to kind of beat them in set 1 and turn it around and use it to beat the Wolves themselves. The Barracudas adaptation is incredible. They are looking fantastic tonight, and a very strong 2-0 onto Nepal. I mean, it's kind of said and done. There's not really much that I can say about that, and I think, as you've been saying all night, right? There wasn't really anything that the Wolves were doing wrong. It's just that the Barracudas had so much pressure. They made it so difficult for the Wolves to traverse through the map without being punished that it just gave the Barracudas so much advantage. Once they were able to dig deep and set up the defenses, there was no coming back from that. And so now we are moving into game number 2. Let's take a look at the map. It is going to be hybrid, and it will be Paraiso. Kyler, tell us a little bit about this map. This is one of the newer Overwatch 2 maps. What are we going to be looking at here?
Yeah, Paraiso, like you mentioned, new map, hybrid, as we've seen similarly to King's Row and Numbani, where they need to take a cap on the first point. Very interesting setup on this map. I've said it a couple times now, but this one feels similarly, where you get drawn in to this first hybrid point where there's a lot of high ground that teams can take advantage of. This map, as far as hybrids go, as far as push maps go, not very linear. Is all over the place. A lot of alleyways, a lot of opportunities for flanks. Somewhere where Sombra could thrive. Somewhere where you could even see like a Tracer thrive really, really strongly. It is open to a lot of different players. I would imagine that with the rooftops here, we won't see many like Rhines or anything like that. Zarya, again, such a strong pick. However, from what we've seen from these teams, I could see this being a situation where they move away from Zarya and we end up seeing either a Winston or we see a Ball, something like that. Going to be really interesting to see. I imagine that we see triplet go probably something like Lucio or Kiriko, and just see how they can adjust to it. Again, Paraiso leaves a very wide open sort of metric for these teams to play whatever kind of comp that they want. So it'll be tough to see, man, but with the way that the Barracudas looked on that first map, the Wolves are really going to have to step up. And I mean, we know that they have it in them, so they absolutely can. Could be interested to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So without any more talking, the anticipation is killing me. Wolves versus Barracuda, game number 2. This is the grand finals. The Barracudas take a surprising game 1 after losing that first series, that first set against the Wolves, and now Barracudas are poised to take the grand finals title for the Esports Tower Rumble. The Wolves, though, there's still fight left in them. I know that it's there, and they can certainly turn this around. Will they be able to stop the Barracudas match point and take us to a game 3? Or are the Barracudas just too hungry tonight, and will they secure a 2-0 victory in the grand finals? Only time will tell. As we see the start of the game, we see Wolves on defense, Barracudas on attack. Lucky will be on that Diva, and Naiwu, of course, on this ball that they have practically been playing all night here.
Yeah, and I mean, again, very interesting to see. I mean, Ball isn't necessarily one that is picked too often that you see right now, but again, has a lot of value. I mean, has a lot of survivability. Niwu's done a great job of being able to get out and really just terrorize the Barracudas every time every team that they played against so far. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he kind of continues to utilize Ball and gets value here. Saw that what they did initially was roll straight through the point. And that was able to take a lot of the pressure off that first choke. The Wolves did a really good job of regrouping, and just getting ready to rotate back to point. However, we do see that it was able to get the Barracudas a single tick. So I wouldn't say it's all for naught. Let's see how they're able to kind of bounce back into this as they roll through for the second fight here. And we see, again, teams just kind of feeling themselves out. And there we go. We got Alakath switching over to the Widow. Very exciting. Always a good thing to see. However, Lucky has spotted them, and bam, right there. You love to see that. That's the mark of a great Widow player right there, making plays, can time when the Diva's coming out perfectly, and is able to go ahead and get the grapple shot to boot as well. What a pick from Alakath. Whenever the Barracudas have needed them most, we've seen them step up on that Widow tonight, Alex. It's been a ton of fun to watch.
I mean, absolutely. I said it at the very beginning of this stream. I wanted to see some Widowmaker, and Alakath has not disappointed at all. It seems like anytime that the Barracudas may be feeling like they're on the back foot, they just get Alakath to switch to the Widowmaker, and everything is right again. As we see, again, Alakath taking out one of the strongest members of the Wolves, Sunky, who a newbie to the Esports Tower Club, but has been doing incredible, has been making moves, making plays all night, just up against the likes of Alakath. It is so difficult to get the space that you need in order to take those fights with the Widowmaker, and Alakath living with 6 health. JR gonna use the Blossom to find one, pushing members of the Wolves off of the cart. We are going to see the ultimate come out from D.Va as well. Won't find anyone. Will make a little bit of space, though. And is going to get the remake kill onto JR. That has a deceptively larger range. it has more range than you think. I was just killed with it last night.
Yep, same. I've learned on many occasions not to even stand remotely close when she does that, and that is why. But we see the Barracudas getting back on the front foot, really, really feeling that fight out well and getting the picks necessary to keep pushing this cart. Wolves will have one more fight before they reach point here. Let's see what they're able to do. Oh, and they got Alakath low early, but weren't able to clean it up. Let's see if they live to regret that. We do see JR here trying to teleport in. Doesn't have Blossom just yet, but we're gonna see Kitsune Rush and Visor, which is a trip, shooting super fast, but not getting anything out of it just yet. Alakath though finds Anarchy. That is the hallmark of unbelievable support play by the Barracudas there. For the Kitsune Rush Visor to go down and keep your team up through that entire thing, and there goes Triplet. Oh my god, Triplet. Relax, homie. With the 4K to push that point to cart, going absolutely insane. Barracudas look truly unstoppable right now. When you have an ult combination like that, and it doesn't work out, and by that I mean the Kitsune Rush and the Visor, it is tough. It is tough to bounce back from that because you're like, what can I do? Oh, and Sunky goes out early. Alakath finds Anarchy again, and that is 2 picks already. That's just going to buy them more time because the Wolves aren't going to be able to engage this fight. It's going to be 3v5, so what will they do at this point? They will simply wait, which is the good play to try and get themselves back in this and stop this cart. But the Barracudas are pushing relentlessly right now. They look like an unstoppable force. Oh, my goodness. Alakath looking like he's on top of everything right now, and I mean it just truly is. Not Lost goes down, hitting shots like it's nobody's business. You have to have a helmet on when you're in the sight lines here because Alakath will click on your head. Let's see what happens here. Got has eyes on here through the walls. This is just tough.
That eagle vision for a Widowmaker just makes it so difficult for any of the Wolves to peek, and while they're afraid to peek, it allows players like Naiwu to just come in and take advantage of the positioning that the Wolves have been forced into because they're afraid of the aggression from Alakath. And with that, the Barracudas doing a great job of keeping the Wolves off of point, and they're able to push the point to completion. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to their name. That is not only a challenge forcing the Wolves to complete this map, but it is also forcing them to get a good chunk of time if we do go into that overtime. 2 minutes and 45, that is a very healthy time bank. The Barracudas have got to be feeling proud of themselves. They got to be feeling good. When we saw set 1, it was so back and forth. It was so close, but it looks like the Barracudas may be running away with this game right now, Kyler.
They look great, and I mean they've used the momentum from that last series win and just rolled in here to really make a statement against the Wolves. But here's what I will say: the Barracudas look great right now, and I think they're going to continue this form. But if we've seen anything from the Wolves as of yet, it's that is all they need is one push to really turn the tide of this. So if I'm the Barracudas, I'm just trying to be a little bit on edge, making sure I'm staying back a little bit, staying patient, being ready to rotate. But they really don't need to switch much up at this point because they've been playing great Overwatch. really the team. C squared and triple T in the back line. I mean, I just can't say enough about the level of play that they've had. They just are an inspiration for support players like myself all around, and I might need them to give me lessons at some point soon. They look awesome. So let's see how they can continue to do here. Wolves pushing out, like you said, Alex, need to make something happen here, and they know that as well. So they're in. We're going to see Lucky on that on the Winston dive in, but is not going to have an easy time going up against JR, who has been standout on that Reaper. And all that Lucky's going to be doing is diving right into a brick wall. So let's see how long they're able to stay on that Winston for. Winston's a great pick for this map. Can't say I blame them whatsoever. Just might be tough to get any value here. So let's see what they do. Triple T as or at triplet, a triple T. I mean, now that I said something, maybe there's triple T. I don't know. Let's not get out of ourselves. On the Kiriko again, finding so much value, just getting picks all over the spot. Alakath pushing forward. The whole Barracuda's team really getting aggressive here, trying to find some value. Triplet again, doing what they do, and I mean getting real close to trying to put that Reaper down. It's not going to be enough. They're going to get a little too over aggressive and get put down here. So let's see if the Wolves can capitalize. We're going to see Lucky dive in here, but again, run into that brick wall that is JR on the Reaper. Ults are coming online for both teams here very shortly. JR is going to get put down by Sunky, and that's going to give Lucky a whole lot of room to run. What a sleep by C squared on a jumping Anarchy. Not going to get a whole ton out of it, but I mean, it's still going to look really good for the highlight reel. Niwu putting down not lost in the back line. This fight is not over just yet, however, Wolves do look like they are going to take this. Lucky putting down Alakath. Alakath not able to find anything just yet. Big shield there by Lucky, but JR is going to run right through it and get the pick. Next pick is going to be really important, and it's going to go to the Barracudas. Niwu putting down Illusion, and Barracudas are staying on this, and Wolves just short of that tick for first fight. That's going to be a rough one. 2 minutes, around 2 minutes here left in this time bank. Niwu rolling around again, just being an absolute menace. How do you even do damage to this guy? Just charging his ult up, and he's got it here, as well as Triplet. JR's ult coming online here. We're going to see a Nano Blade here soon from the Wolves, and that's going to have to be a big one to try and win them this fight. Let's see how it goes here, Alex. Blades out. No Nano, though. Kitsune rush. JR finds not lost, and that's why the Nano didn't come out. Illusion gets shut down on the Blade. Barracuda's only 2 ults there to stop that. Unbelievable playing there. Oh my goodness, that is a tough one if you're the Wolves. And now you're running in. You've got a Beyblade lined up here. You can, which is the Reaper and the Nano ult. Let's see how it goes. It's going to be tough, though. Man, we've got Visor here online for Barracudas, as well as Niwu's Mines that are going to take up a ton of room. Let's see how the Wolves can respond. Niwu finds one, but Sunky finds one, and Sunky comes in with the Blossom, is able to find 2. JR puts him right back down, though. We do see Illusion getting on this Tracer, probably just to try and be a little speedy, get space, maybe in the event that they need to touch, but that is a scary sight. Kiriko has a one-shot that can put this Tracer down very easily, and if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Triplet. Insane play back and forth. I'm stunned right now. I'm just in stunned silence. This grand finals has been crazy so far. Both teams want this so bad right now, you can just tell.
Yeah, I mean, the grand finals has been incredible. The Barracudas have been looking so good, and we see the Wolves just switching up everything. They're trying to make something happen. Illusion can't get away. Sunky does find a kill, but Niwu just chasing down all of these squishy players. Triple T or Triplet gonna find another one. Alakath finding another one, and 15 seconds remaining. It doesn't look like the Wolves will be able to do it, as the DMech is just going to stall out Lucky even more. 7 seconds remaining. We got to make something happen.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness, Niwu taking
Oh my god, the exclamation point by Niwu!
I mean, you know,
dude.
That's what the Barracudas wanted. That's what they needed, right? They had such a difficult run for that set 1, that series 1. It was so back and forth, and really this grand finals was an exclamation point for the Barracudas. They really were setting their name. They were making it known that they were there to play. They were there for that title, and Barracuda is going to be your Esport Tower Rumble title champions. Oh my goodness. So taking it in a very convincing fashion for sure.
Congratulations to them, well deserved. Would have loved to see them honestly run another series back as like a best of 3 type series with the Wolves to see kind of like who would come out on top in that one. I know the Wolves probably are thinking about that in the back of their mind a little bit too, but the Barracudas were just in it from the beginning. Even in that first series, although they lost 2-0, I think that's not a super accurate scoreline of kind of how that went down. The Barracudas were in it the entire time. That tie on Kings Row kind of went against them, unfortunately, as well. But they really earned this by going through a not easy Eagles team. Really earned it against them, and I mean just absolute statement victory, back shutouts against the Wolves, who again very strong throughout. Just great team play all around. I'm just so encouraged by what I saw tonight from all 3 teams. I mean, everybody has made some great plays tonight. Again, it's hard to look at this from a caster and say, hey, here's where the mistakes are. This is what they need to do to win. At this level of Overwatch, at how these kids were playing, it's not easy to tell. Everybody just did a great job. I mean, everybody should be holding their head high, but congratulations to Barracudas for their grand championship this week. Very well deserved.
I mean, absolutely. And I think what you said is exactly right on the money. We see the talent, the skill that these players have, and they're only getting better. And that is what makes me so excited about esports as a whole, about Esports Tower, about the Rumble series, about everything, about how young these are. High schoolers, and they're so good, and they're only getting better. They've got coaching, they're playing against other teams that are strong, that will push them to go even further, and we're just going to see more and more talent. But of course, while we're talking about talent, we have got to talk about our player of the week. Who is it? It is none other than Sunky for the Wolves, the Reaper player, one of the newer club members who has been making a name for themselves. But of course, the player of the week presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched up with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up, just like Sunky, who has been making absolute money moves on this Reaper. The Wolves weren't able to secure that dub, but man, Sunky was really putting in the work this week on that Reaper. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man, just beautifully timed blossoms on this Reaper. That's where we saw their primary skill set shine through. And I mean, just these replays speak for themselves, right? Just playing so aggressively, just always being in the right spot, hitting shots, just knowing when to teleport in, when to wraith out, all those fundamental things you want to see from your Reaper player, you saw in Sunky. Just did such a great job. Honestly, one of the unsung heroes. I don't think I gave Sunky enough credit as to the caliber of play that they were on, or the level of play that they were just consistently hitting throughout. But they were just one of the ones that you saw the entire time that if it was in your face, you were not having a good time. So shout out to Sunky. Great performance. Great performance to all players today. Again, it's so fun to just watch this level of Overwatch and see what everybody had brought to the table. Such diverse character pools, just everything that you want to see. Incredible time.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you mentioned that, maybe we weren't giving Sunky enough credit that they deserve, but it's so difficult when all of the players are incredible, when all of these players are just amazing. There's so many things to look at. Overwatch is such a hectic and chaotic game, and so many things are happening. Of course, you and I wanted to really highlight the support players tonight, but we can't forget about the damage players who are making these massive plays, these huge moves. So, of course, a huge shout out to everyone involved tonight. All of these teams were phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see more of them. We saw returners, we saw old players, and we saw new blood alike, and the scene just excites me so much. There's more to see, there's more to do, and I cannot wait. So of course, congratulations again to the Barracudas. What a fantastic night of Overwatch. This Rumble had so many amazing moments, and wow, it was awesome. So of course, If you want to see more, make sure to join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST to see more Esport Tower rumbles in Overwatch. But for now, we're going to leave you with the top 5 plays of the week. Of course, I'm Alexander T. Kresek, and this has been Kyler Apgar. Thank you so much, Kyler. This has been amazing to be casting with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, morning, whatever. We'll see you guys next time. See you later.
For both teams here very shortly. JR is going to get put down by Sunky, and that's going to give Lucky a whole lot of room. I think that coming online, I think that from what they're doing so far, they've looked great. They've really been utilizing the speed by Toxic Kill, just getting forward, and now we see both teams have Blossom here. The EMP is going to be a big one here. Triplet finding the poop on Barbecue. Barracudas are going to have space here. We see the Blossom go out. JR is able to find Toxic Kill, which is going to be rough.
This versatility that they can just run into the Barracudas, and it's been working out so well as we see Sunky drop the ultimate, is going to find 3, going to find 4 as well. We'll eventually have Diva Bomb in just a moment here.
And he gets the nano. That is a mean Beyblade right there. I'm sorry to cut you off, Alex. Oh.